Time passed slowly. Today was the last day of the preliminaries. The most anticipated match of the day, naturally, was between Tianshui Academy and Thunder Academy, the first and second-ranked schools. The Thunder Academy students walked toward the Tiando Great Spirit Arena in high spirits. Excitement and pride shone on their faces. Even Dai Mubai's earlier sour mood had brightened noticeably. Yu Tianheng and Yu Tianxin walked side by side, the two brothers unusually serious as they quietly discussed the tactical coordination needed for the match. Dai Mubai lounged with his hands clasped behind his head, a self-satisfied grin on his face. Tang San brought up the rear, constantly reviewing Tianshui Academy's previous matches. Ning Yuyo, however, was practically bouncing next to Oscar. "We've done great this prelims. We crushed Blazing Academy and Shenfeng Academy. If we beat Tianshui Academy today, we'll finish first in the preliminaries." "That's right," Dai Mubai laughed. "Who would dare look down on Thunder Academy then?" Yu Tianxin scoffed. "You're all celebrating too early. After the match, the lot of you will be left in the dust." "Our Thunder Academy doesn't need students who embarrass us," Yu Tianxin added with a sneer. Yu Tianheng, rarely showing any expression, gave a brief nod. "Everyone's performed well. If we keep this up, beating Wuhun Academy and Heaven Do Royal Academy in the finals isn't impossible. They could reasonably expect to make the finals, but defeating powers like Wuhun Academy or Heaven Do Royal Academy would be a different story." Wuhun Academy's strength was uncertain. Xiao Ze of Heaven Do Royal Academy had wiped the floor with them last time. How much stronger he'd become in a year was anyone's guess. They were chatting and laughing when several figures suddenly stepped out of the shadows lining the street, instantly blocking their path. Nearly 10 Spirit Emperor-level warriors, cold and sharp-eyed, surrounded them. At the front stood a Spirit Douluo. The air grew cold. Yu Tianheng's pupils tightened and he instinctively stepped forward, voice low and steady. "Sirs, we are students of Thunder Academy. How can we help you?" The Spirit Douluo raised his eyes slowly, his tone clipped and frosty. "We're not here for you. We're looking for her." He pointed directly at Ning Yuyo. "You mean me?" Ning Yuyo blinked in surprise. She didn't recognize them. Why would they be after her? "That's right. We're from the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School. We warned you, if you ever so much as thought about having children outside the school, we would bring you back," the Spirit Douluo said coldly. Everyone froze at the remark. Oscar tensed. Alarmed, was this about him? "You can't do this," he protested, stepping in front of Ning Yuyo. "Just hold still, Ning Yuyo. Say anything else and it won't matter," the Spirit Douluo interrupted. Ning Yuyo's face drained of color. "No, I didn't. I never," she began, voice trembling. The Spirit Douluo cut her off. "Even if you haven't, the rule stands. It was the condition placed on you and your mother when you were allowed to leave the school. If you can't fulfill that condition, then we'll see to it ourselves." He stepped forward, and Yu Tianheng immediately moved to block him, anger flaring. "Sir, Ning Yuyo is currently a student of our Thunder Academy. You can't just take her. This is disrespectful to the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan." The Spirit Douluo sneered. "What are you, exactly? I'll show you courtesy only if the elders and the sect master of your clan are present. Otherwise, who are you?" Yu Tianheng and the others stiffened at the insult. The Spirit Douluo was a core member of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School. He knew his sect master's spirit power had already reached the 8 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda and might eventually reach the 9th. With that kind of backing, the school felt untouchable. No wonder he considered the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan beneath his notice. "You look down on our clan?" Yu Tianheng clenched his fists. The Spirit Douluo waved them off. "Don't flatter yourselves. I just look down on you as trash." He turned back to Ning Yuyo. "No more nonsense. There are plenty of us here. Taking one girl isn't a problem." Before anyone could react, he seized Ning Yuyo and hauled her toward his companions. "Yuyo!" Oscar screamed and lunged forward, only to be kicked aside. He spat blood, went limp, and collapsed. "Oscar!" Tang San and Dai Mubai rushed to help, hauling him up. Oscar lay groaning. Dai Mubai muttered, "Hey, I didn't kill him. What's with the drama?" "Your Excellency, that's going too far. Oscar is a student of our Thunder Academy," Yu Tianheng barked. The Spirit Douluo paid him no heed and strode away with Ning Yuyo. The Thunder Academy students watched helplessly. They were furious, but the attackers included a Spirit Douluo and several Spirit Emperors. If they pursued, they'd almost certainly be crushed. And if they were beaten, who would be left to compete in the match today? Captain, Ning Yu's been taken. Our team's strength just dropped a level for the match, Yu Liuli said, frustration and helplessness in her voice. First, we find second grandfather. He's already at the Great Spirit Arena, Yu Tianheng said. This was beyond what they could handle alone. Tang-san, have someone take Oscar back to the academy for treatment. Our priority is the match, Yu Tianheng added. Okay, Tang-san said through clenched teeth. That 7-treasure glazed tile school had crossed a line. They arrived at the Great Spirit Arena and told Yu Luomian, second grandfather, what had happened. Yu Luomian's expression darkened. I didn't expect this, he said. Although the 7-treasure glazed tile school is arrogant, there's not much we can do about it directly, especially since none of you were seriously injured, Yu Luomian continued. Ning Yo is, after all, originally an outcast from their school. Officially, she still belongs to them. This is an internal matter of their sect. So we can't interfere? Yu Tianheng asked, unwilling to accept it. Of course we won't just stand by, Yu Luomian replied firmly. I'll send a report back to the clan. Big Brother will deal with the 7 treasures' insult to the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. But our job today is the match. Leave the rest to Big Brother. Understood, Yu Tianheng said. Chapter 242. The Suppression of Shui Binger and Shui Yuer. Members of Thunder Academy and Tianshui Academy quickly poured onto the field. The faces of the Thunder Academy students were grim. Their strongest support had been taken away by the 7-treasure glazed tile school, leaving them no choice but to send Xiao Wu forward. Oscar, as a food system spirit master, offered little help in the match. His sausages had no chance to reach anyone on the battlefield now. Prepare for the match, came the call. Sister, look, Ning Yo's gone, Shui Yuer said with a smile. I see, the 7-treasure glazed tile school has already made their move, Shui Binger nodded. Without Ning Yo, we'll win for sure. The match began. The Thunder Academy fighters, led by Yu Tianheng, charged at Tianshui Academy. Shui Binger immediately began to dance. Her toes barely touched the ground as she spun gracefully. Her sea blue hair streamed behind her, and a crystalline mist of ice gathered around her. With every elegant step, the sky above the arena darkened. Clouds formed, a fine drizzle fell, snowflakes swirled, and a howling cold wind drove razor-sharp ice crystals into countless tiny blade-like whirlwinds that swept toward the Thunder Academy. Thunder Dragon Claw! Yu Tianheng roared. The Spirit Masters, bearing the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon, condensed Thunder Dragon claws and struck out, slicing through many of the ice whirlwinds. That, however, was only the first wave. Tang San's first spirit skill flared, and countless blue-silver grasses erupted from the ground, instantly overwhelming Tianshui Academy's side. Just a first spirit skill? Shui Binger snorted. A crystal-clear repulsive ice ring exploded outward from her. Crack! Tang San's blue-silver grass, only just spreading, froze solid in the extreme cold and was shattered by the shockwave into a sky of ice fragments. The Thunder Academy members were pushed back several steps by the force. Such power! Yu Tianheng frowned. How can her spirit ability be so much stronger than a year ago? Yu Tianxin looked surprised. I noticed it too. Even if her spirit power increased several levels, her spirit ability shouldn't have improved this much, right? Do you think something's wrong with her spirit? Yu Liuli asked softly. Spirit? Yu Tianxin echoed. Yes, Shui Binger's spirit seems different, more beautiful than before, more like a phoenix, Yu Liuli replied. Could it be spirit evolution? Yu Tianxin swallowed. Enough speculation. It doesn't matter. Charge! On the other side, Xiao Wu targeted Shui Yuer. Using teleportation, the pink blur of her body flashed forward like a ghostly petal. Ah! Shui Yuer cried out, but her reaction was fast. Her hands formed dolphin-like fangs, and she fired 3 ice spikes in quick succession. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh! Xiao Wu arched backwards with astonishing flexibility, the spikes whistling past the tip of her nose. Then Xiao Wu's first spirit skill activated. Her slender, jade-like leg, amplified by waist bow, whipped toward Shui Yuer's throat. Shui Yuer's eyes flashed with impatience, and she spun a spiraling ice cone in her palm to meet the kick. Bang! Xiao Wu was sent flying several meters by the impact, but she flipped and stabilized midair. She gritted her teeth, teleported again, her eyes glowing a brilliant pink. Shui Yuer froze for a heartbeat, then flushed pink with annoyance. "Big sister, I'm still a girl. Are you trying to charm me?" she snapped. In that instant, Xiao Wu was caught off guard, and Shui Yuer's third spirit skill burst forth. She spewed wind and fragmented ice, forming a 10-meter-wide ice storm vortex wall filled with high-speed, cutting shards. It slammed into Xiao Wu's face and engulfed her. Countless sharp ice fragments shredded her flesh in a spray of blood. She was blasted like a kite with a cut string, spitting blood as she fell heavily to the ground. "Xiao Wu!" Tang San's eyes turned red with rage. "What are you screaming about, useless?" Shui Yuer retorted, annoyed. Spider web restraint. Blue-silver grass wove a net toward Shui Yuer, but it was ripped apart by the ice storm. Elsewhere, Yu Tianheng and the others were embroiled with Yu Hairo and her team, and even with Shui Binger's assistance, they were at a disadvantage. Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon and White Tiger Spirits were both terrifyingly aggressive. Just as Dai Mubai readied the milky white light sphere in his mouth to unleash it, a blue glow flickered on Shui Yuer's fingertips, and two ghostly water element chains shot out and wrapped around his arms. "What the hell is this? Damn you, Shui Yuer!" Dai Mubai snarled. He tried to break the chains with brute force, but failed. To them, it looked like a 1,000-year spirit ring, but it was a 10,000-year ring. A dolphin-headed bite tore into his shoulder. "Ugh!" he screamed as searing pain hit him, and he felt his spirit power draining rapidly. "This spirit ability is disgusting," Dai Mubai hissed, focused on the agony threatening to drown him. Boom! The white tiger light wave he had not yet released exploded uncontrolled across his own face as his spirit power went haywire. It was the first time he had been struck by his own technique. He staggered, stunned. "Mubai." Tang San rushed to help, but Shui Binger's ice sealed him in place. Shui Yuer seized the moment, spun, and delivered a flying kick that landed hard on Dai Mubai's chest. Bang! His body collided with Yu Liuli, who was rushing to support. Shui Yuer pressed the advantage and engaged Yu Liuli directly, while Shui Binger took a more commanding semi-support role, casting ice armor around their allies. Yu Tianheng and the others grew increasingly alarmed. "Tianheng, something's wrong. Is this the power a 100-year spirit ring should have? My third spirit skill only caused a small crack," Yu Tianxin said, bewildered. The spirit ability's ferocity was beyond expectation. "I feel it too. Both Shui Binger and Shui Yuer's spirit abilities are incredibly strong." "Look, Tang San is still frozen by Shui Binger," Yu Tianheng said helplessly. He feared that even with Ning Youyu, the fight would be difficult. Tang San would have been frozen instantly. Outside the arena, Xiao Wu kept trying to break the ice seal on Tang San, but her attacks were too weak. There was no chance. Yu Luomian stood watching with a frowned brow. Something's not right. This is clearly wrong. The power of Shui Yuer and Shui Binger's spirit abilities surpasses what their spirit rings should allow. How is that possible? Why could a spirit master's 9th spirit ability be stronger than their first spirit skill? Normally, if age limits were the same, their strengths should be comparable. Shui Binger and Shui Yuer were unusual, though he couldn't yet say exactly why. Chapter 243, End of the Qualifiers. If Yu Tianheng and Yu Tianxin were the twin stars of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan, then Shui Binger and Shui Yuer were the twin stars of Ice and Snow. Their coordination was flawless. Whenever the Thunder Academy members tried to condense a powerful spirit ability, Shui Binger's binding followed like a shadow. Her top-tier binding made them suffer. Many couldn't even release their abilities, completely controlled. As Yu Tianxin raised his thunder-wreathed dragon claw, his entire arm froze into an ice sculpture. He roared in anger and unleashed his spirit power to shatter it, but the next moment countless icy crystal thorns erupted from the ground beneath his feet, forcing him to roll awkwardly to avoid them. Dai Mubai's roar was cut off as frost sealed his mouth, leaving only muffled grunts. "Just behave," Yu Tianheng muttered, feeling dazed. Their poor showing wasn't due to bad teamwork. They were simply being overwhelmed by Shui Binger alone. Her observant control of the battlefield made them all uncomfortable. Yu Tianheng didn't want to face her again if he could help it. It was too infuriating. Shuiyuer flitted across the arena like a ghost, appearing and disappearing unpredictably. "Sister, left," she called in a sweet voice. Shui Binger didn't even look. She merely waved her hand. First soul skill, binding. Yu Liuli, attempting a sneak attack, was frozen into a human-shaped popsicle. Shui Binger signaled to Shui Yuer, who kicked Tang San, sending him flying, then slid to stand before her sister. "Watch out! They're using a spirit fusion skill," Yu Tianheng shouted. "Snowfall." Back to back, fingers interlaced, the sisters' spirit powers erupted into a brilliant column of ice-blue light the instant they touched. The sky darkened, and heavy clouds rolled over the arena. "Everyone, full defense!" Yu Tianheng barked, his pupils narrowing. Within the dark clouds, innumerable crystal-clear snowflakes drifted down, and under the sisters' control, coalesced into an ice and snow tornado over 30 meters across, sweeping toward the Thunder Academy team. First soul skill, Thunder Dragon Claw. Third soul skill, Wrath of the Thunder God. Binding, White Tiger Light Wave. Yu Tianheng and his teammates unleashed their abilities one after another, trying to resist, but Snowfall's assault was overwhelming. Their attacks barely registered against the vortex, which raged on like a meat grinder. Screams pierced the air as razor-sharp snowflakes shredded flesh and armor. Several of Yu Tianheng's dragon scales were flayed away, the blood that seeped out freezing instantly. Others had their protective spirit power breached and dropped to their knees. This is even stronger than when they fought Elephant Armor Academy. Someone in the crowd shouted. The ice-snow vortex forced the Thunder Academy members back relentlessly. "Let's finish this," Shui Binger said coolly. Her eyes turned crystal azure, and a wisp of ice-blue aura drifted from between her brows. A clear cry cut through the wind. The snowflakes converged and, like a living thing, formed an ice crystal phoenix with a wingspan over 7 meters. Entirely of profound ice, each feather shimmered coldly. As it beat its wings, it brought gusts of frozen storm that plunged the arena's temperature. A second form? A spirit fusion skill with a second form? Yu Tianheng was dumbfounded. He ordered, "Spread out," but his voice was faint in the blizzard. The ice crystal phoenix dove. Wherever it passed, the air itself split into fine ice cracks. The 7 members of Thunder Academy had no time to evade. One by one, they froze solid. Their expressions of horror, preserved on faces, turned to ice. Then the phoenix slammed into the center of the arena. The explosion of ice energy rolled outward like a tsunami. An ice-blue shockwave swept through the venue, frosting even the protective barrier into a thick shell. When the cold mist cleared, the 7 members of Thunder Academy lay at the arena's edge, each encased in a layer of ice and unconscious. The referee's voice trembled in the cold. "Match over. Tianshui Academy wins." Shui Binger exhaled a small breath of cold air and turned to help the drained Shui Yuer. They exchanged smiles. They had used their most powerful spirit fusion skill. Though their spirit power was exhausted, they had taken out the entire opposing side in an instant. Thunder Academy's crew hurried to carry Tang San and the others away. In the VIP seats, Ning Fengji looked at Sword Douluo Chenshin. "Uncle Sword, isn't that spirit fusion skill a little over the top?" Chenshin nodded. "It's excessive. Their spirit fusion surpasses attacks of 2 major realms. Outrageous. The range is huge. There's basically nowhere to hide. The best option is to confront and interrupt it directly, but given its power, direct confrontation is unrealistic. The practical strategy is to never let them cast it." Shuye was smiling broadly. Good. This time it's not just Heaven Do Royal Academy. Tianshui Academy is incredibly strong too. Our Heaven Do Empire actually has a shot." Solace's expression was sober. Wuhun Academy's spirit fusion skill existed, but it wasn't a purely offensive one. There was still a clear gap compared to the Tianshui sisters. He'd need to relay the situation. Shuye caught Solace's look, and his spirits lifted. If the Heaven Do Empire won the championship, it would be a major breakthrough. Elsewhere, the crowd buzzed. "Wow, Shui Binger and Shui Yuer are terrifying." I saw the arena barrier tremble, felt like it might shatter. Their spirit fusion just wiped out all 7 opponents. They're beautiful and deadly, truly unmatched. If they both become titled Douluo someday, it'll be legendary. Shui Yuer and Shui Binger were holding Xiao Ze's arms, bouncing with excitement. "Brother Xiao Ze, did you see how my sister and I killed them all instantly with our spirit fusion skill?" I saw. You two were amazing. Binger's field control and Yuer's fighting ability have both improved a lot. Hey, it's all thanks to Brother Xiao Ze. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be this strong. Chapter 244, The Feeling of Ascension. Soon the final matches wrapped up. The preliminaries were over. Everyone had a month to rest before the promotion rounds. Only after those would the grand finals be held. Back at the villa, Shu Yuer collapsed onto the sofa. Ugh, so comfortable. Fighting is exhausting, she sighed, stretching, then pulled Shui Binger into a lazy embrace. Shui Binger's cheeks flushed and she squirmed free. You only have 1 month off. There are still the promotion rounds, Ning Rongrong said, settling down and letting Shu Yuer rest her head in her lap. Rongrong Jie, I really envy you all for going straight to the grand finals. Ning Rongrong tugged Shu Yuer's cheek. Who told us Heaven Do Royal Academy is royal? Same for the Star Luo Empire, Xiao Ze chuckled. For the next month, Rongrong and the others will help you 3 train, Xiao Ze added. Huh, Shu Yuer looked as if she might cry. No way, I was hoping to rest properly. Rest? Duguyan snorted and gave her a sharp pat. You can rest after the competition. Ow, stop hitting me. Training, Shu Yuer hurriedly protested, covering her backside. You all keep cultivating. I'm going to Spirit Hall, Xiao Ze said. Everyone went quiet at that. Xiao Ze, you're really joining? Ning Rongrong asked. She already suspected why he'd go to Spirit Hall. Yes, the time has come. Even Shui Binger and the others knew what joining Spirit Hall meant, becoming a god. There was no shame in it. Shu Yuer worried aloud. Xiao Ze Gege, what about us? Our families and factions are here. We can't go to Spirit Hall. Xiao Ze thought for a moment. There's plenty of time before the war. Use it to cultivate. When the war breaks out, make sure your academies don't participate. It'll infuriate Shuiye, but it's better than being sent to die. The Heaven Do and Blazing Academies are the main concerns. If things get impossible, hide in the Yi family. Even if Shuiye goes mad, he won't just attack the Yi family. As the premier healing family, the Yi family had countless favors and deep influence. If Shuiye moved against them, the whole empire might turn against him. People would be willing to protect a family that could save lives. That's a good idea, someone murmured. You don't have to rush, Xiao Ze added. Maybe you can reach titled Douluo before then. If you do, Shuiye probably won't touch you. Huowu laughed bitterly. Titled Douluo isn't easy to become. Even with your crops, it'll take a long time. I'll take you to a place where your spirit power can improve dramatically when the time comes, Xiao Ze promised. He was thinking of Sea God Island. Before Tang San obtained the vast sea cosmic shroud, Sea God Poseidon didn't even know him. With that shroud, Tang San could participate in Sea God trials and maybe even earn the Sea God position. Okay, they agreed. No one asked exactly where. Their trust in Xiao Ze was greater than their trust in themselves. Night fell black and the stars sat low. Xiao Ze lay on his bed, checking the day's planting results in his spirit sea. He currently had 3 farmlands, a pasture, and a water area. The farmland was best developed, everything else was supplementary. He noticed many cultivated items produced similar effects, likely tied to the Douluo Continent system. The system was simple, with limited room for growth. That made sense. There was still no sign of a 21st spirit. The more spirits a person had, the harder it seemed for new ones to emerge. A massive influx of energy might be required, and such energy was rare. For now, he could only be patient. 20 spirits, with their domains and bond skills, were already enough to threaten even a spirit saint. God of Agriculture, how's the Tree of Life doing? Xiao Ze asked. The God of Agriculture shook his head. It's grown quite a bit thanks to your farmlands and pastures, but trees grow very slowly, slower than spirits. Xiao Ze sighed. I'll have to be patient. He had just closed his eyes when the door opened. Ning Rongrong and Duguyan came in grinning. Before he could say anything, Ning Rongrong leaped onto the bed and rolled beside him, hugging his left arm. Duguyan sprawled on his right, with her long leg draped over him, twirling a strand of hair and leaning close enough that her breath brushed his ear. You too? Xiao Ze started. Ning Rongrong poked his cheek with a wicked smile. Since you're leaving for so long, we decided you should have a left and right embrace every night. Tonight, it's me and Yan Yan. Tomorrow, Meng Yiran and Ju King. The next day, Ling Ling and Huo Wu. Finally, Shui Binger and Shui Yuer, Du Guyan added, tracing the collar of his shirt with a purple-painted nail. Xiao Ze's Adam's apple bobbed. You really are thoughtful. If you weren't still so young, we would have started already, Du Guyan murmured. There's a long road ahead, Xiao Ze replied, gently running his hand down Du Guyan's back. Plenty of time. The next few days were carefree. On the first evening, Meng Yuran's lithe waist and extraordinary flexibility left a lasting impression. Her yoga-like stretches made his head spin. Ju Qing's figure pressed against him so completely he felt almost overwhelmed. She blushed, but offered him an intimacy he'd never known before. Wrapped in softness from every direction, the sensation was intoxicating, soaring, uplifting, as if rising towards some blissful height. Chapter 245. Xiao Ze goes to Wuhun City. The next morning, Xiao Ze basked in Huowu's fierce enthusiasm and Ye Lingling's gentle care. The two, so different in temperaments, fit perfectly together. Xiao Ze rested his head in Ye Lingling's lap while she diligently cleaned his ears, a weekly ritual he loved. In his previous life, he had adored having his ears cleaned. Among the girls, only Shui Binger and Ye Lingling had the right touch. The others were too impatient and rough for such a delicate task. Sister Lingling's hands were astonishingly gentle, and she had learned many techniques that made one relax completely. Xiao Ze often dozed off in minutes under her care. Huowu, fiery as ever, was surprisingly skilled at massage. Her back massages were unparalleled among the girls, powerful and effective. On the final day, Shui Binger and Shui Yuer turned the room into a childhood playground. Shui Yuer's boundless energy dragged Xiao Ze into a playful scuffle and a pillow fight with her sister. It was pure nostalgia. Later that day, Xiao Ze turned to Liu Erlong. You want to come with me? Liu Erlong nodded. Yes, Rongrong and the others have all spent time with you, but I haven't. I plan to accompany you to the Spirit Hall. There may be dangers on the way, so I should protect you. Yes, Xiao Ze, let Sister Erlong come with you. That'll put our minds at ease, Ning Rongrong said, stepping closer. She's already a spirit Douluo. Her protection is enough, Liu Erlong added, and I can come see Bibi Dong with you. Xiao Ze's expression shifted. Are you sure you don't think this will get you killed? I have no ties to you Xiaogong anymore. Would Bibi Dong casually kill me? Liu Erlong shrugged. Xiao Ze wasn't entirely convinced. Bibi Dong could be dangerous, but Liu Erlong continued. Besides, you have the truth peanut. With Bibi Dong's personality, she'll want to know whether Yu Xiaogong truly loved her. Then, she smiled slyly, already picturing Bibi Dong's likely reaction. You're incorrigible, Xiao Ze said, remembering he'd nearly forgotten about the truth peanut. It wasn't something he used often. Am I? Depends who it's for. For someone like Yu Xiaogong, a little mischief is warranted, Liu Erlong said with a hint of scorn. I agree. Xiao Ze nodded. I predict Yu Xiaogong will definitely go find Bibi Dong. Why? Ning Rongrong asked. Because of Tong San. Xiao Ze looked around at everyone. Tong San has twin spirits. Cultivating twin spirits is dangerous. The first spirit master with twin spirits exploded and died. The only one who fully succeeded is Bibi Dong, so Yu Xiaogong will go to her to learn the cultivation method. Spirit masters with twin spirits gain many more spirit rings than ordinary masters, so their advancement is exceptional. Bibi Dong, for example, had already become a titled Douluo in her 30s. If Tong San learns to cultivate twin spirits properly, things will become much more complicated. I see. Bibi Dong truly is a genius. Ning Rongrong breathed. One of the greatest talents of the past 100 years. Xiao Ze agreed. Bibi Dong's solution to twin spirit cultivation marked her as exceptional. On top of that, she was a descendant of a divinity, the Rakshasa god, which made her even more formidable. Perhaps this trip to the Spirit Hall would give Xiao Ze the chance to encounter the Rakshasa god, the angel god, or even the god of agriculture. In that case, I want to see it too, Liu Erlong said, eager to witness how Bibi Dong would treat Yu Xiaogong if she learned the truth. Continue to love him or kill him outright? All right, Xiao Ze didn't linger on the thought. He mainly hoped Bibi Dong wouldn't harm Liu Erlong. With the god of agriculture nearby, it shouldn't be a major problem. The carriage is ready. Let's go. Outside the Heavendew Royal Academy, a gentle breeze carried a faint floral scent. One by one, the girls came forward to say their farewells. Ning Rongrong stood on tiptoe, wrapped her arms around Xiao Ze's neck, buried her face in his shoulder and murmured, "Come back soon, or I'll bring the 7 treasure glazed tile school to fetch you." Xiao Ze chuckled, lowered his head and planted a soft kiss on her forehead. "Don't worry, I won't keep you waiting long. Chances are you'll be the ones coming to find me." "Ah, hey, that sounds right." Ningrongrong giggled, delightfully foolish. Jujuqing tilted her head as Xiao Ze stroked her cheek and kissed her brow. Duguyan leaned in lazily, fingertips tapping his chest, her lips curving. "If you flirt outside, I'll have Rongrong lock you up." Xiao Ze smiled and kissed her temple. "Yes, ma'am." Huowu was the most direct. She grabbed Xiao Ze's collar and kissed him for a moment, licking her lips afterwards. "Tastes good," she said. Shui Binger and Shui Yuer climbed into his arms. Xiao Ze tousled their hair and kissed each of them in turn. "All right, I'm leaving." They answered. Liu Erlong was already seated in the carriage, smiling at the scene. Xiao Ze took one last glance at everyone, waved and climbed in. The carriage wheels turned, rolling along the bluestone road until the academy and the girls disappeared from view. Inside, Xiao Ze leaned against the window with a faint smile. Liu Erlong glanced at him, snorted softly, and said, "Little fellow, you really are lucky." Xiao Ze rubbed his nose and returned the smile. Elsewhere, Tang San stood disconsolate. "Teacher, after the promotion tournament, I still haven't reached Spirit Ancestor. I'm no match for Xiao Ze at all." He felt as if Xiao Ze had been sent by fate to keep him in check. Yu Xiaogong looked troubled as well. He had no answer. Xiao Ze's strength seemed inhuman. How could someone of congenital level 2 be so powerful? Something was off. "Little San," Yu Xiaogong said, "after the promotion tournament ends, I'll make a trip to the Spirit Hall." "Spirit Hall? Teacher, what for?" Tang San asked, curious. "You're the 3rd twin spirit genius on the Douluo Continent. The first one died from an explosion. He couldn't find a proper cultivation method. The second one managed to cultivate twin spirits successfully." "What? Who is the second?" Tang San cried out. Chapter 246. Goodbye Huliana. Tang San was stunned. He had seen too many spirit masters. Even a genius like Xiao Ze didn't have twin spirits. Now there was actually another spirit master with twin spirits in the world, and she had even discovered a way to cultivate them. Didn't that make her more of a prodigy than he was? Tang San's face darkened. Yu Xiaogong didn't notice Tang San's reaction and continued, "This spirit master is the current supreme pontiff of Spirit Hall, Bibi Dong. She also has twin spirits, the Death Spider Emperor and the Soul-Eating Spider Emperor. Both are top-tier spirits. Her talent is extraordinary. She solved the problem of twin spirit cultivation leading to self-destruction. In fact, her talent is even stronger than your father's, Clear Sky Douluo. Bibi Dong inherited the Supreme Pontiff position before she turned 40, and it said she was already a titled Douluo by then." Yu Xiaogong sighed, a trace of nostalgia in his eyes. Tang San's pupils constricted. A titled Douluo in her 30s? Exactly. Of course, twin spirits can also absorb a few more spirit rings, and those rings provide a lot of spirit power, Yu Xiaogong nodded. Tang San's headache only grew worse. He hadn't expected that the very thing he needed most would be in the hands of his enemy. The feeling of helplessness made him uneasy. "Don't worry, leave it to me. I have some connections with Bibi Dong. Once the promotion tournament ends, I'll get to Spirit Hall a step ahead," Yu Xiaogong said, patting Tang San's shoulder. Tang San suddenly felt his teacher wasn't as useless as he'd thought. Maybe he had some use after all. "Thank you, teacher." He didn't know if Yu Xiaogong could retrieve it, but at least there was hope. Fortunately, for now Bibi Dong didn't recognize him, Tang San. Yu Xiaogong felt a little gratified. Otherwise, if Tang San became a titled Douluo without any sign of Yu Xiaogong's help, it would look like he had done nothing. He wasn't useless. Several days later, Xiao Ze looked up at the magnificent city and sighed. "So this is Spirit City. It's even more lavish than Heaven-Do City. Of course, this is where Spirit Hall is, home to Spirit Masters," Liu Erlong said. "Erlong, have you been to Spirit City before?" Xiao Ze asked. "Once or twice, not often," she replied. "You're not scared, are you?" Xiao Ze teased. "Please, would I, Liu Erlong, be afraid of Bibi Dong?" She shot back, hands on her hips. "I didn't even mention Bibi Dong," Xiao Ze said with a half-smile. Liu Erlong froze, grabbed him, and pinned him to the carriage floor. "You, trying to trick me? Mercy, mercy," Xiao Ze squawked. After a moment, she let him up. They left the carriage at the hotel. Someone would look after it. After all, the boss was the one paying, and walked into the city. As expected of Spirit City, Xiao Ze murmured, 6 or 7 out of 10 people here are spirit masters. He thought that with Spirit Hall based here, it was unimaginable how Tang San could possibly beat them. Spirit Hall had a handful of titled Douluo and 70% of the spirit masters on the continent. To lose despite such overwhelming advantage seemed absurd. But now that they were here, things might be different. They strolled past the angel statue when Xiao Ze suddenly saw a familiar figure. She was intoxicating, long, soft black hair cascading to her waist, exquisite features with narrow, fox-like eyes tipped in a faint crimson, a high nose bridge, full naturally red lips. Her figure was stunning, a waist so slim it could be circled with a hand, and perfectly balanced curves. Her dress hugged her form just right, the neckline teasing without being vulgar, inviting imagination. Every small movement, stroking her hair, twirling a strand, seemed to carry a beguiling charm. The air around her felt faintly infused with it. Tsk, what a charming woman, Liu Erlong muttered, pinching Xiao Ze's waist. Don't play around, Erlong. I know her, Xiao Ze said. You know her? You've never even been to Spirit City. Liu Erlong said suspiciously. I saw her in the Stardew Great Forest when I was a child. Xiao Ze stepped forward toward Huliana. Huliana paused, lips about to scold, but when she saw the handsome, somewhat boyish youth, she smiled. Her index finger tapped her red lips, her breath like orchids. Little brother, why are you stopping Big Sister? Are you trying to get to know Big Sister? Xiao Ze was a bit taken aback by how quickly her expression changed. Huliana clearly favored good looks. No wonder she had never taken to Yan. He must not have been handsome enough. They'd known each other for over a decade, yet Yan had never won her over. Xiao Ze thought it ridiculous. As he approached, a faint fragrance bloomed from her, the aura of charm. With too weak a will, anyone getting this close would fall under it immediately. Huliana wouldn't need to use a spirit ability. Her charming fox spirit was still very powerful. Big Sister, it's good to see you again, Xiao Ze said. Liu Erlong hung back, watching. Though she teased Xiao Ze and sometimes got angry, she knew better than to interfere in important matters. She understood what kind of woman Xiao Ze needed. For small things, Ning Rongrong handled much, but Xiao Ze made the big decisions. As Liu Erlong's senior, she kept her place. You know me? Huliana asked, suspiciously. Back in the Stardew Great Forest, Big Sister helped me with life-type spirit beasts, Xiao Ze replied. Huliana's eyes widened. You're Xiao Ze. She was surprised. She hadn't expected Xiao Ze, someone her teacher had taken a liking to show up in Spirit City himself. Big Sister actually knows my name. It seems I've already attracted the attention of His Holiness, the Supreme Pontiff. Xiao Ze smiled. He wasn't surprised. After all, his second spirit ring was purple, and he wasn't a twin spirit user. How could Bibi Dong not notice? After all, little brother's second spirit ring is quite extraordinary, Huliana said, coy. What should I call you, Big Sister? Xiao Ze asked. Little rascal, do you really not know? Chapter 247, First Meeting with Bibi Dong Hu. Lena's coquettish expression was disarmingly charming. It made Xiao Ze catch his breath. He had never seen a woman like her before. Nana Jay. Xiao Ze decided not to play games. He was here to join Spirit Hall. Only Spirit Hall could help him advance to godhood quickly. Who could blame him for respecting that power? You're still enrolled at Heaven Do Royal Academy. Aren't you afraid they'll cause trouble if you come to Spirit Hall? After all, you're their top student. Huliana's fingers twitched as she pinched his cheek. Such a shame, no baby fat, she murmured. Xiao Ze was speechless. Could she stop leaning so close and whispering? He could hear her perfectly. Nana Jie, is it possible I'm here to join Spirit Hall? Huliana's face went serious. Are you telling the truth or lying? If it's a lie, I'll pretend you never said it. If it's true, I'll bring you to meet my teacher, the current Supreme Pontiff, and then you won't have a chance to refuse. Xiao Ze nodded. Nana Jie, I've made up my mind. It may not become official until after the Soul Master competition. I haven't used Heaven Do Royal Academy's resources these last few years, so the Empire has no reason to keep me. Relief softened Huliana's features. You're clever, kid. In that case, there's no problem, though I don't know why you want to join Spirit Hall now. Have you finally realized its power? Nanaje, I won't lie to you. Xiao Ze paused. I'm joining because I'll need Spirit Hall's help later on. He knew sincerity was the best tactic. He didn't need overwhelming power, but he would need manpower. Juliana's eyes glittered. Oh, that sounds important. I won't press. You can tell teacher yourself. She glanced at Liu Erlong. Also, is that older sister yours? This. She keeps looking over here. My woman. Xiao Ze nodded. Huh? Hulina stared first at Xiao Ze, then at Liu Erlong, disbelief written all over her face. Little brother, you're still underage, and you already have a woman, an older one at that? Liu Erlong's expression darkened. Older? Have I been eating your family's rice? She thought. Nanaji, don't say that. Erlong is very good, and I have other women too. I didn't expect you to be such a little scoundrel. Hulina's mouth quirked. Nonsense. Xiao Ze protested righteously. Nanaji, I'm very pure. They're all my companions. Juliana burst into laughter at his solemn tone. This is the first time I've heard someone call himself a scoundrel and sound so refreshingly sincere. Her smile widened. If Nanaji likes it, I'm not completely opposed. You, little schemer, she teased, pinching his cheek again. You're too young to do anything. We'll talk when you're older. Xiao Ze flushed. Little perverted fox, he thought. If I can't do anything, how can I scheme? What exactly are you after? Enough teasing. Take your woman and come with me to Spirit Hall. My teacher's fairly free today. Otherwise, it would be several days from now. With the Soul Master competition coming up, she's got plenty to deal with. All right. Xiao Ze waved, and Liu Erlong stepped closer. She held no grudge against Hulina, but she hadn't expected her to be Bibi Dong's disciple. Interesting. Juliana led them smoothly into Spirit Hall. They reached the Supreme Pontiff Palace, where 2 Spirit Saint-level guards stood at the entrance as a matter of protocol. Ready? Xiao Ze asked Liu Erlong. She nodded. Juliana's face showed a flicker of curiosity. What preparations did one need to meet teacher? She pushed the palace doors open. Inside, only 3 people were present on the high platform: Chrysanthemum Douluo, Ghost Douluo, and Bibi Dong. Teacher, Grandpa Ju, Grandpa Gui. Juliana announced them respectfully. Nana, why did you bring 2 people? Liu Erlong. Chrysanthemum Douluo squinted. He hadn't seen Xiao Ze in nearly 10 years and didn't recognize him, but Liu Erlong was familiar. He had investigated her many times and met her before. Titled Douluo Chrysanthemum Douluo. Liu Erlong replied with respect. She could be arrogant at times, but she was still courteous to a titled Douluo. Bibi Dong on the high platform heard Liu Erlong's name and turned slowly. Xiao Ze couldn't help but feel awestruck. Bibi Dong was truly peerless, majestic, and radiant. She wore a brilliantly golden, perfectly fitted gown that emphasized a figure that was elegant rather than seductive. She combined regal authority with feminine grace. The 9-curved purple-gold crown on her head added a sacred aura. In her hand, she held a 2-meter-long gem scepter, a symbol of the Supreme Pontiff's absolute authority. Her face was flawless, her skin pale and refined. Though she was no longer young, time seemed to have left her untouched. She had grown more noble and voluptuous with maturity. Just standing there, she radiated an invisible pressure that inspired awe. Liu Erlong, have you come to die in my spirit hall? Bibi Dong's crimson lips parted slightly. Bibi Dong, if my man were not coming to Spirit Hall, I would never return in this lifetime. Liu Erlong answered without fear. At worst, she reasoned, death awaited her. Xiao Ze's lips twitched. Who gave you the courage, Jingru? He sometimes thought Liu Erlong lacked common sense. Man? Bibi Dong seemed unbothered by Liu Erlong's tone. She was used to it. Seeing the exchange, Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo stepped forward and pulled Hulina aside. Hulina pouted. She had wanted to watch the drama unfold. The 3 left and closed the main door. Grandpas, I haven't finished watching yet. Watch what? If you keep staring, be careful, the Supreme Pontiff scolds you, Chrysanthemum Douluo grumbled. No sense of observation at all. So, Liu Erlong and teacher don't get along, do they? Hulina asked, curious. You'd better not know, Chrysanthemum Douluo retorted, cutting off further questions. Who is that little boy? Grandpa Ju, you know him. It's Xiao Ze. Xiao Ze. Chrysanthemum Douluo started. So it's him. But why is he coming to Spirit Hall? To join Spirit Hall, Hulina answered. Huh? He's already here? Chrysanthemum Douluo felt this should be an easy matter. Yes, but it seems he needs Spirit Hall's help with something. That makes sense. Chrysanthemum Douluo nodded. As long as his request isn't excessive, I don't think His Excellency, the Supreme Pontiff, will refuse. Xiao Ze's talent is outstanding. He's destined to become a titled Douluo. I never expected that kid from back then would grow up so fast, and even come to compete in the Soul Master competition finals. Nana, work hard. If you can figure out Xiao Ze's strength in the next few days, maybe the championship will be yours. Chrysanthemum Douluo smiled. Grandpa Ju, don't be shameless. Hulina pouted playfully. Still, if this was peacetime, I wouldn't care. But the finals have 3 spirit bones over 10,000 years old this time. His Excellency the Supreme Pontiff intends to give them to you 3. If you don't get them, it'll be troublesome. Chrysanthemum Douluo frowned. Normally, Spirit Hall's golden generation would easily dominate, but Xiao Ze's presence changed things. His summoned beasts possessed spirit fusion skills that had instantly slain so many spirit ancestors. His strength was an abyss, unfathomable. If Xiao Ze joined Spirit Hall, those spirit bones wouldn't necessarily be wasted, Juliana said. But the others? Who said they aren't? Ghost Douluo cut in suddenly. 5 of the 7 members on Heavendew Royal Academy's main team are Xiao Ze's girlfriends. 1 from the Tangye family of the Nine-Hearted Sea, 1 from the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, 1 from the Luo Zhu Star family, 1 is the granddaughter of your friend Dugu Bo, and the last, though less prominent, is from the Meng family. If Xiao Ze joins Spirit Hall, we can use him to bring all those forces over. Spirit Hall's strength would rise another level. For that kind of gain, 3 10,000-year spirit bones are not a loss. Ghost Douluo spoke plainly. Chrysanthemum Douluo understood immediately. In the end, it depends on the negotiations between His Excellency, the Supreme Pontiff, and Xiao Ze. Liu Erlong, the older you get, the weirder your taste, going for a child. Bibi Dong sneered. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. Liu Erlong's behavior seemed insane. Liu Erlong didn't care. She hugged Xiao Ze's arm and grinned. So what? Xiao Ze can help me cultivate. He can cook for me. He'll be with me every day. That's enough. Bibi Dong was stunned. As Supreme Pontiff of Spirit Hall, she had seen countless faces, and she could tell when someone was sincere. This was genuine, astonishing. Whatever. Bibi Dong turned away from Liu Erlong and looked straight at Xiao Ze. You want to join Spirit Hall? That's right. If I don't join, I'm afraid Spirit Hall's assassins will come after a while, won't they? Xiao Ze smiled. You're clever, Bibi Dong said, lifting her chin slightly, and my future also requires Spirit Hall's strength. What do you mean? Xiao Ze asked. Bibi Dong's brow tightened. His Excellency the Supreme Pontiff should be undergoing the Rakshasa God's God position trials right now, shouldn't she? The moment she said it, Bibi Dong's expression changed. She abruptly stood from the Supreme Pontiff's throne. A sharp, killing intent burst from her eyes. Spirit power swelled around her, and 9 spirit rings appeared beneath her feet in rapid succession, among them the blood-red 100,000-year ring. Liu Erlong's pupils constricted, and she stepped in front of Xiao Ze protectively. Bibi Dong's slender fingers tightened on her scepter until her knuckles whitened. How dare you speak such nonsense in Spirit Hall? You must want to die. The air in the hall seemed to harden. Liu Erlong's heart pounded. She hadn't expected Bibi Dong to be on the verge of becoming a divinity. Why is His Excellency, the Supreme Pontiff, so angry? Whether I'm right or not, she'll know. As for how I know, ask the Rakshasa god. Xiao Ze met Bibi Dong's murderous gaze calmly, a faint smile on his lips. Those words struck like a lance. Outwardly, Bibi Dong maintained her composure, but inside a tsunami rose. She had tried to call the Rakshasa god, and there had been no response. Something was wrong. Her face tightened grimly as panic churned beneath her control. In the Rakshasa Inheritance Temple, the god of agriculture looked around with faint disdain. Your temple is a bit gloomy, he said. When the Rakshasa god first saw him, she felt an oppressive force. His strength rivaled the Asura god, yet his power leaned toward life. Who are you? She demanded. Why do you have the strength of a god king? There are no divinities like you in this god realm. Are you from another god realm? The god of agriculture nodded. My god realm was shattered. All the other divinities died. Only I remain, just a remnant soul, half dead. How could that be? You're a god king, the Rakshasa god exclaimed. Even god kings could die. What's wrong with being a god king? He replied. A god king is just a stronger divinity. They can die too. Did you meet some powerful enemy? The Rakshasa god swallowed. No, we died from infighting. I didn't want to act at first, but I had no choice. The god of agriculture smiled slightly. This child is your successor. You mean him? The Rakshasa god's voice trembled. Once he becomes a divinity, he can revive me. The strength of us together would rival any force in your god realm. Join us. What do you think? You're a god king. Even if he becomes a divinity, how could he revive you? The Rakshasa god asked, incredulous. He won't inherit my god position. He will create his own, the god of agriculture said confidently. His spirit will be built around the easiest path for him to gain merit and faith. He will create his own god king, god position. The Rakshasa god's eyes widened. A self-created god king position? That was unheard of. The 5 great god kings of the current god realm were all split from the creator god. No one had ever created their own. The strongest self-created positions known were only the sea god and the angel god. He has such potential, the Rakshasa god murmured, moved. She had suffered in the god realm, targeted by the Asura god and then the angel god. Joining a powerful force would be a rare opportunity. Of course, you should know I too created my own god king position. I understand it well. The god of agriculture lifted his head slightly. The Rakshasa god's mouth twitched. Good heavens, this was the real big shot. Chapter 249, Bibi Dong. Xiao Ze, if you want to die, just say so. How is it? The god of agriculture asked. I can agree for now. After he forges his own god position, I'll make my decision, the Rakshasa god replied cautiously. Suit yourself, the god of agriculture said, shaking his head. I only came to tell you not to interfere with Xiao Ze becoming a divinity. The rest is up to you. The Rakshasa god's expression twitched. Was she truly that powerless? In front of this formidable figure, she felt insignificant. Maybe even a bodiless powerhouse could sweep her away. Very well, let's go outside and announce it. All right. Bibi Dong's pupils narrowed. She hadn't expected the Rakshasa god to forbid her from harming the boy, and even to insist she treat him well. What secret did he hold? The Rakshasa god had said nothing concrete, yet he had ordered her to be kind to Xiao Ze. Bibi Dong fell silent for a moment, then drew back her spirit ring and withdrew her aura. Liu Erlong breathed a relieved sigh. Congratulations on joining Spirit Hall, Liu Erlong said. Although I don't know how you learned about the Rakshasa god, I hope you won't tell outsiders. Of course, Xiao Ze nodded, but I want my reward. What do you mean? Bibi Dong frowned. Supreme Pontiff, do you remember Tang Hao from a few years ago? Xiao Ze asked. Tang Hao? That information came from you? Bibi Dong immediately reacted. Yes. Bibi Dong blinked. Back then you weren't even 10, right? You actually wanted to kill Tang Hao? Do you bear a grudge against him? No. How could someone from a small place like you even know Tang Hao? She was stunned. Liu Erlong, who already knew the background, showed no surprise. I don't hate Tang Hao himself, Xiao Ze said. I hate his son. You're a terrifying child, Bibi Dong said, giving him a loaded look. The feeling's mutual. What do you want Spirit Hall to do? I won't handle anything too difficult. This isn't urgent. Maybe in a while, Yu Xiaogang will come looking for you, Xiao Ze said. Bibi Dong's hand tightened on her scepter, and a sliver of joy lit her eyes. You're happy? If you knew why Yu Xiaogang was coming, you wouldn't be so thrilled, Xiao Ze teased. Bibi Dong's brow knit. What does he want? He definitely has a motive. Otherwise, do you think he's coming to see you? You're giving him too much credit. Xiao Ze smirked. Tang San, Tang Hao's son, is Yu Xiaogang's disciple. Tang San has twin spirits. What do you think Yu Xiaogang wants from you? Bibi Dong's eyes twitched. Disappointment washed over her. My twin spirit cultivation method. Exactly. Yu Xiaogang never truly loved you. He used you. Back then, he used you to get into Spirit Hall's library and steal his 10 core theories. Now he'll use you to help his disciple cultivate twin spirits. Xiao Ze's words hit like needles. Bibi Dong felt her chest constrict as though gripped by a cold hand. Her breath stopped for a heartbeat. Strength drained away, and she lurched, collapsing onto the Supreme Pontiff's throne behind her. Seeing Bibi Dong so crushed by thoughts of Yu Xiaogang, Liu Erlong felt a stab of pity. She cleared her throat. If you want to know whether Yu Xiaogang truly loves you, ask Xiao Ze. He's frighteningly accurate. It was with Xiao Ze's help that I found out Yu Xiaogung's true colors, Bibi Dong rasped, lifting her head to stare at Xiao Ze. Her voice was hoarse. What should I do? Xiao Ze produced a small peanut. Truth peanut, he said, pulling it out. Bibi Dong stared. She wanted a proper explanation. My spirit can grow many special crops, ones that increase cultivation speed, enhance physique, and so on. The truth peanut, as the name implies, makes someone speak the truth for a period of time. Bibi Dong's pupils constricted. The mystery fell into place. No wonder Xiao Ze, with only innate level 2 spirit power, had advanced to Spirit King so quickly, even outpacing that girl Nana. His spirit must cultivate miraculous crops. You're telling me this. Aren't you worried I'll lock you up? Xiao Ze shrugged. It won't come to that. We can cooperate. You give me something in exchange. Besides, do you think the Rakshasa god would let you do that? Bibi Dong's expression froze, so Xiao Ze also had a divinity backing him, maybe even stronger than the Rakshasa god. Is the truth peanut useful to me? She asked. He nodded. Very useful. The truth peanut was epic grade, useful to anyone below divine official level. A true divinity would need a legendary grade 1. So you want to try it? Xiao Ze said, tossing the peanut to her. Bibi Dong didn't hesitate. She ate it. It tastes pretty good, she murmured. I'm going to start asking questions now, Xiao Ze said. Ask, Bibi Dong agreed. Did you kill Qian Shunji? Bibi Dong's pupils contracted. You want to die, you brat? That was the first question? Liu Erlong's lips curved. Bibi Dong, finally getting her comeuppance. Bibi Dong opened her mouth to deny it, but her throat tightened as if choked. She couldn't speak. The truth peanut took effect. Don't think about lying. Even if you're a limit Douluo, it'll be very uncomfortable, Xiao Ze warned. Yes. The word escaped Bibi Dong. Her expression darkened, but there was also a flicker of relief. Proof the truth peanut worked, even on her. If it worked on someone like her, it would be even more effective on Yu Xiaogang. I'm going to ask a few more questions, Xiao Ze said with a mischievous grin. Supreme Pontiff, what color is the underwear you're wearing today? Both Bibi Dong and Liu Erlong froze, staring at Xiao Ze as if a pause button had been hit. Surprise flashed across Bibi Dong's face. Her long eyelashes trembled. Liu Erlong burst into laughter, shoulders shaking, her eyes gleaming with mischief as she looked at Bibi Dong. Answer, Bibi Dong. Heat rushed to Bibi Dong's ears and cheeks. She lost her composure and gaped at Xiao Ze as if she wanted to kill him with her eyes. Xiao Ze, if you want to die, just say so. Xiao Ze gave an awkward laugh. I was just experimenting. What a pity. If you don't answer directly, the truth peanut doesn't work. Chapter 250. Bibi Dong made up her mind. Bibi Dong drew a deep breath to steady herself, but her chest rose and fell too quickly for it to help. You saw it, right? That's the power of the truth peanut. Even a super Douluo will answer honestly, Xiao Ze said, quickly changing the subject. Bibi Dong nodded. It is formidable. Your spirit is truly powerful. No wonder you advanced from innate spirit power level 2 to your current strength. So, Supreme Pontiff, do you want to use this truth peanut on Yu Xiaogang? If you don't, I honestly don't want to join Spirit Hall. I can't serve a leader who's infatuated and refuses to face reality, Xiao Ze said casually. Bibi Dong thought for a moment. I agree. If Yu Xiaogang really comes to Spirit Hall like you say, I will make him eat it. Very good. So you're joining Spirit Hall now? Bibi Dong had never personally invited a spirit master into Spirit Hall like this, but Xiao Ze's spirit was far too valuable to ignore. With him, Spirit Hall's strength could grow dramatically within a few years, perhaps even unify the continent in time. Still, he didn't seem serious. He'd even set his sights on an older woman like Liu Erlong. Temporarily. After your matter with Yu Xiaogang is settled, we can discuss everything else. Xiao Ze didn't want to put his life in the hands of someone foolish and easily manipulated. All right. Bibi Dong couldn't confirm whether Xiao Ze had a divinity backing him, but his identity was clearly not ordinary. Otherwise, the Rakshasa god would not have ignored her before. You two go rest, she waved a hand. Xiao Ze nodded and left with Liu Erlong. Bibi Dong sighed softly as their figures receded. She had believed most of Liu Erlong's hatred for Yu Xiaogang when she saw it. The investigation had shown Liu Erlong had loved Yu Xiaogang for decades, unchanged, and now it had swung to the opposite extreme. Her hatred was written on her face. Even if Yu Xiaogang were blameless, Bibi Dong realized she had to choose between Xiao Ze and Yu Xiaogang. Yu Xiaogang was the man she loved. Xiao Ze, however, represented the present, and more importantly, the future. There's no need to think about it. It's definitely Xiao Ze, the Rakshasa god's voice said suddenly. Startled, Bibi Dong snapped. You wouldn't answer when I called you before, and now you pop up out of nowhere. What are you doing? The Rakshasa god ignored her tone and continued, Yu Xiaogang doesn't love you. If he did, he wouldn't have stayed away all these years. You are the supreme pontiff now, and he still hasn't come to you. What does he fear? Besides, Yu Xiaogang's disciples oppose your spirit hall. You wouldn't help the son of an enemy, would you? Impossible, Bibi Dong said firmly. That's good. More importantly, Xiao Ze is far more useful than Yu Xiaogang. I can tell you clearly. Xiao Ze can help you quickly complete your divinity trial, and behind him is a god king. Bibi Dong's eyes widened. A god? He is a god king, not an ordinary divinity. God kings are the strongest in the god realm. Even in their realm, there are only 5, the Rakshasa god said. Our god realm? Do you mean the divinity behind Xiao Ze isn't from our side? Outside, but very strong. I understand. At that moment, Bibi Dong made her decision. Whatever Yu Xiaogang had been, it belonged to the past. Xiao Ze was the present and the future. Good that you understand. Xiao Ze's help will be greater. As for Yu Xiaogang, you know what to do, right? If he truly deceived me, I will make him wish for death and be unable to die. After Xiao Ze and Liu Erlong left, they wandered through Spirit Hall for a while before returning to their quarters. Xiao Ze, do you think Bibi Dong will really give up on Yu Xiaogang? Liu Erlong asked. She will, Xiao Ze said confidently. After all, the god of agriculture had discussed things with the Rakshasa god. Unless Bibi Dong renounced becoming a god, she wouldn't turn her back on such an opportunity. That's good. I want to see Yu Xiaogang's face when it happens, Liu Erlong said with a satisfied smile. Don't get ahead of yourself. You'll see soon enough. Bibi Dong can be ruthless. Yu Xiaogang won't have a good outcome, Xiao Ze replied. Good. Liu Erlong's smile broadened. Time for bed. She looked at Xiao Ze with a playful, beaming expression. Without warning, she wrapped an arm around his waist and pulled him down into the bed. The mattress dipped as she settled against him. Her leg came up and pressed against his waist, locking him in place. Before he could speak, her delicate scent surrounded him. Erlong, you. Shh, sleep. She brushed a fingertip across his lips, tightened her hold, and rested her chin on the crown of his head, both possessive and gentle. Xiao Ze surrendered to the embrace. With her warmth and scent around him, his consciousness softened and sleep claimed him. The next morning, Xiao Ze struggled out of Liu Erlong's arms. After resting a while, he opened the door and saw the little fox waiting outside. What are you doing at my door so early? He asked. Hulina pouted. Teacher told me to follow you during this time. Oh, little fox, come with me. Let's get breakfast. Xiao Ze called her over. Juliana bristled inwardly. She wanted to pinch him for being so annoying, but her teacher insisted she treat him well. As long as his requests weren't excessive, she had to comply. Darn man. Xiao Ze led the way, and Juliana followed like a small attendant, puffing her cheeks and occasionally kicking pebbles. Little fox, where in Spirit City has good breakfast? He asked. It was his first time here, and he wanted to taste the local specialties. There, Juliana said, pointing to a shop she liked. Looks good. Let's go. Halfway there, they ran into another admirer. Nana, you too. Jan stared at Xiao Ze and Juliana together, disbelief and annoyance on his face at seeing them so close so early in the morning. Yue, beside him, looked as if her heart had just been crushed. Brother Jan, Brother Xie, are you here for breakfast too? Hulina asked, unaware of Jan's reaction. Chapter 251, The Power of Licking Dogs. Right, we're here for breakfast too, Xie said, nodding. He nudged Jan, who immediately brightened. Nana, what do you want to eat today? Same as before? Xiao Ze watched Jan's obsequious, almost dog-like manner and felt speechless. What era was this? Still groveling. Grovelers had no future. Look at Flender. Look at Feng Xiaoqian. Xiao Ze, what do you want? Hulina asked. Get me a bit of everything they have. I want to try it all. Okay. Juliana went to place the order. Yue and Jan stared in surprise. Was this still Juliana? They'd always been the ones treating her. Now she was ordering for everyone. It was disconcerting. What's your relationship with Nana? Yan demanded, looking at Xiao Ze with wounded indignation. Xiao Ze felt a tingle under his skin at the intensity of the stare. Was this the effect of being a sycophant? He frowned. What does my relationship with the little fox have to do with you? Are you her brother? Who are you to her? Do I have to report to you? Yan's string of questions didn't get far. His brain wasn't exactly the sharpest, and Xieyue stepped in. All right, enough. Let's eat. We're here for breakfast. Hu Lina quickly returned with the food. Dig in. These are specialties from Spirit City. Pretty good, a little spicy. I love spicy, Xiao Ze said, and dug in. The specialties did taste good, spicy, soup-like, but not overwhelmingly seasoned. Yan watched Hu Lina and Xiao Ze eat together like a young couple and sank into a self-pitying mood. He could hardly touch his food. Little fox, one more portion. I want to take it back for Erlong, Yan said, trying to sound casual. Got it. Hu Lina moved to pack another portion. Yan felt his heart break all over again. The Nana he had always doted on was now being bossed around by someone else. It was maddening. Xiao Ze, what's wrong? Xiao Ze asked, looking at the needy young man. I want to duel you. Loser stays away from Nana, Yan said, dead serious. Are you insane? The little fox isn't property. You can't stake her, Xiao Ze snapped. Hu Lina had just come back and overheard. Her lips curved into a small smile before she folded into a sullen expression with perfect timing. Yan, if you ever do that again, don't follow me anymore, she scolded. Yan felt unjustly treated. He only wanted Nana to stop being so close to Xiao Ze. They hadn't known each other long and already looked intimate. He couldn't stand it. Hu Lina crossed her arms and put on an intimidating air that was devastatingly effective at handling sycophants. I understand, Yan said, his voice softening. Xiao Ze barely managed a twitch of his mouth. He'd never seen a lapdog like this, could rival Feng Xiaotian. If these two ever got together, they'd probably make an excellent match. Maybe he should introduce them. They'd certainly have a lot to talk about. Xieyue rubbed his forehead. Yan was far too impatient. Xiao Ze had pulled him down in a moment. If this kept up, Hu Lina's good impression of Yan might evaporate. What a nuisance. Xiao Ze didn't want to encourage Yan any further. After breakfast, Xiao Ze took the packed food and headed back to Spirit Hall, Hu Lina close behind. Yan had no way of stopping her. Does the little fox like that, Yan? Xiao Ze asked. He seems completely enamored with you. So what? I don't like him. We're too familiar. I know him well, and he's not my type. He's helped me a lot, and my brother and I have helped him too. I just hope we can stay friends, Hu Lina said, shaking her head. I can tell you like handsome men. When you first saw me, your eyes were practically sparkling, Xiao Ze teased. Hu Lina playfully pinched him, slightly embarrassed. You know it, so don't say it out loud. All right, go feed your auntie. With a soft hum, Hu Lina left, and Xiao Ze chuckled. The little fox is interesting. Back in the living quarters, Xiao Ze found Liu Erlong seated at the dressing table. Up, come eat. It's all Spirit City specialties, he said. Liu Erlong, naturally beautiful with only light makeup, looked at him tenderly. Last night had been the first time they'd slept in the same room. Nothing had happened, but it was a step forward. She came over, saw the food, and in a slightly coquettish voice asked, Will you feed me? Ah? Xiao Ze paused, taken by how flushed she looked. A beautiful woman had a particular allure. She wasn't yet mature in the way older women were. Bibi Dong, for example, had an authoritative ripeness like a juicy peach. Be normal, I'll feed you, he said. Liu Erlong opened her lips. Xiao Ze fed her slowly. For her, the gesture mattered more than the food. The care in his movements showed she was valued. Toward the end of the meal, she gave him a little more. She sat on his lap, picked up a specialty morsel, put it in her mouth, and then passed it to him. Xiao Ze was surprised by the unique taste. This imported breakfast had a distinct flavor. No wonder imported goods were pricey. They cooed and fed each other for nearly half an hour. Liu Erlong's cheeks were flushed, her breath like orchids. When she stood, Xiao Ze called after her, You're just leaving like that? She glanced back, eyes mischievous. You're to blame. I need to change. Xiao Ze cleared his throat. After a while, Liu Erlong returned in fresh clothes and sat down again. Will we be staying in Spirit Hall all this time? Probably. There's not much else to do. Once Bibi Dong and Yu Xiaogong's situation is settled, we'll be busy, Xiao Ze said. That's true. Promoting the seeds won't be a short-term task either. Liu Erlong replied. Chapter 252, Yu Xiaogang's Arrival. Time flew by like a white steed, and before they knew it, the advancement competition was over. Get up, Xiao Ze, wake up! Huliena's punctual tapping sounded at the door. Over time, her relationship with Xiao Ze had warmed. She'd been coming every morning to wake him, insisting they have breakfast together. Sigh, I think this little fox has fallen for you, Liu Erlong teased. Xiao Ze said nothing. He wasn't blind. He could see it clearly. Her thing with me can wait, he added quietly. If Bibi Dong can't finish things with Yu Xiaogang, then there's no chance for her and me. In the end, we'd only become enemies. He was being practical about it. That's not the only problem. Worry about what you'll tell Rongrong when she arrives later, Liu Erlong chuckled. Oh, so you don't think I need an explanation? After all, she's with me, Xiao Ze replied. Damn it, Liu Erlong's face went green. Yes, Hulina had come with Xiao Ze, and she'd failed to keep a close eye on him. It's over, Xiao Ze. This is all your fault. Xiao Ze smiled and went out with them. Sister Erlong, Hulina said sweetly, hands clasped behind her back. All right, let's go eat, Liu Erlong said. She had no ill will toward Hulina. The girl had taken very good care of them recently. Her motives weren't entirely pure, perhaps, but she was fundamentally a decent person. No student of Bibi Dong's looked like her at all. They were mid-breakfast when a figure appeared at the Spirit City gate. Dressed in simple cloth, Yu Xiaogang stood looking at the city entrance. It's been years since I came to Spirit City. I wonder if this time I'll succeed, he muttered to himself. He still believed in his own charm. He remembered how fiercely Bibi Dong had loved him, how close she'd been to running away with him. That memory kept him confident. Yu Xiaogang entered the city without delay and headed straight for Spirit Hall. Hey, Xiao Ze, Liu Erlong whispered, lowering her voice as she gently tugged at his sleeve. Look, Yu Xiaogang. Xiao Ze put down his breakfast. He's here already? The advancement competition just ended. Looks like he was in a hurry. What's he doing here? Hulina asked. This is related to your teacher. Better if you don't get involved, Xiao Ze said. Hulina nodded. Then you two go. It looks important. You come too. We'll eat on the way, Xiao Ze added. He couldn't leave Hulina alone. Her face lit up. The three of them fell in step behind Yu Xiaogang, keeping roughly 100 meters distance. Yu Xiaogang was only a low-ranking spirit master. He had no idea 3 people were trailing him. When Yu Xiaogang reached the entrance to Spirit Hall, 2 silver-armored hall knights stepped forward and blocked him. Behind them, hundreds of knights formed a ring. This area is restricted. If you come any closer, you will be killed without mercy, they warned. Yu Xiaogang calmly drew a token from his robe, a Supreme Pontiff's token. Hulina's eyes widened. As the Holy Maiden of Spirit Hall, she recognized it immediately. Where did he get a Supreme Pontiff's token? She whispered, stunned. Tang Hao gave it to him, Xiao Ze replied. Tang Hao gave it to him. Hulina's face darkened. That damn Tang Hao. He actually had a Supreme Pontiff's token. No, I must expose him. The Clear Sky sect and we have an old grudge. Besides, Tang Hao is dead. That token shouldn't count. Xiao Ze didn't stop her. Her logic made sense. If Tang Hao was dead, the gift shouldn't carry authority. In the original record, the Hall Knights simply didn't know whose token it was. Hulina stepped forward, furious. All of you, stand up. A silver-armored knight leaned in and whispered, Your Royal Highness, Holy Maiden, it is a Supreme Pontiff's token. What Supreme Pontiff's token? Another retorted. This Yu Xiaogang is useless. He's not even 30 ranks. How could he be an Elder of Spirit Hall? The token was from Tang Hao. What? Tang Hao? A dead man's token. Damn it. We were deceived. The Hall Knights straightened and turned toward Yu Xiaogang, their eyes hard as if they could tear him apart. Yu Xiaogang's heart trembled, and he took an involuntary step back. Even if Tang Hao gave it, this is still a Supreme Pontiff's token, he stammered, swallowing hard. He hated the Holy Maiden for what she'd done. If he ever saw Bibi Dong again, he vowed he would make her pay. Take me to see His Holiness, the Supreme Pontiff, he demanded. You want to see the Supreme Pontiff? Hulina asked coolly. Hall Knights, obey my order. At once. The 100 Hall Knights' unified replies almost made Yu Xiaogang's legs give way. Xiao Ze and Liu Erlong watched from a short distance, both smiling with a little satisfaction. Looks like the little fox still has some authority as a supreme pontiff's representative, Liu Erlong said. Maybe, Xiao Ze sighed, but she probably won't get the chance. What do you mean? Spirit Hall ultimately belongs to the Qian family. They have a successor in this generation with incredible talent. Even if the little fox is the Holy Maiden, she can't become the next supreme pontiff. The offering hall won't allow it. It's full of super Douluo. Xiao Ze shook his head. That's not our fight. We're not part of Spirit Hall, and even in the future, it's best not to get involved in those factional struggles. What if I become the supreme pontiff someday? Liu Erlong teased. Xiao Ze laughed. That would be something. Then Spirit Hall would be yours. Forget it. I don't want that trouble. Have you seen how busy Bibi Dong has been? I don't want the job. It's exhausting, he grinned. Besides, then I wouldn't have time for you all. Liu Erlong's eyes softened, just about to bask in the moment, when a scream cut through the air. Ah! Both her and Xiao Ze turned. Several hall knights had closed in on Yu Xiaogang with ruthless expressions. Without using spirit power, they relied on their hardened bodies in brutal training. Their boots stomped, their fists and kicks struck with merciless force. Yu Xiaogang had been left utterly defenseless. Ah! He cried again as a heavy fist slammed into his abdomen. He doubled over, staggered back, and before he could steady himself, a knight's sweeping kick sent him crashing to the ground. Chapter 253. Yu Xiaogang abused by Bibi Dong. Ah! Yu Xiaogang curled into a ball, blood spilling from the corner of his mouth and staining the cloth on his chest. Stop! You! I am an elder of Spirit Hall. His voice trembled and grew weak, but another merciless knee slammed into his spine. Bones protested. Yu Xiaogang screamed, his hands clawing at the ground, knuckles white. Useless! Sneered one of the hall knights, putting his foot on Yu Xiaogang's wrist and grinding it down. Yu Xiaogang convulsed, his agonized screams cutting the air. The hall knights paid him no heed. Punches and kicks rained down, each strike driven by fury. They were spirit masters, many at the spirit ancestor level, but they had been tricked into kneeling by a fraud. That humiliation needed to be avenged, and Yu Xiaogang was the outlet. Slowly his consciousness blurred as blood spread across the courtyard. Only his continual wails echoed in the empty space before the palace. The beating nearly cost him his life. All right, stop, Juliana said at last. She knew Yu Xiaogang had some connection to her teacher, but seeing Xiao Ze involved made it clear Xiao Ze intended to deal with him. Juliana decided to teach him a lesson first. Take him to the Supreme Pontiff Palace and find a healing spirit master to treat him, just a little. Understood. The hall knights left without argument. They didn't care what the Holy Maiden intended. Soon Yu Xiaogang, half dead, stood shaking at the entrance to the Supreme Pontiff Palace. He stared at Hulina with pure hatred, wishing he could tear her limb from limb. He'd been beaten to this state because of her. He would make her pay, cripple her, and kill her if he could. Pain throbbed through him. The healing they'd given had been far from complete. Juliana pushed open the palace doors. Teacher, Yu Xiaogang is here, she announced. Bibi Dong looked up from the matters in her hands. Yu Xiaogang was still covered in blood. She frowned. What happened? Yu Xiaogang's heart leaped. It seemed Donger still cared about him, at least a little, so he put on a pitiful expression and made a small report. Your Holiness the Supreme Pontiff, your disciple was beaten by those hall knights. I am an elder of Spirit Hall. This is insubordination. He didn't say he wanted Juliana punished. He wanted to know how much he still mattered to Bibi Dong. The harsher the punishment, the higher his perceived status. Nana, what happened? Bibi Dong asked. Juliana, who had grown up with her, had no trouble calling her teacher. Bibi Dong's tone wasn't immediately angry, and Juliana relaxed slightly. Teacher, Yu Xiaogang had Tang Hao's Supreme Pontiff token and tried to enter Spirit Hall. Bibi Dong froze. Her scepter struck the floor with a heavy thud. Yu Xiaogang's stomach dropped. Dong! Presumptuous! Bibi Dong's voice cracked like ice. The hall seemed to shiver. Yu Xiaogang went rigid and looked up into her cold eyes, a bad feeling swelling in his chest. Tang Hao is an enemy of our Spirit Hall, Yu Xiaogang. How dare you come with his Supreme Pontiff token? Bibi Dong's lips curved into a sneer. Do you have no regard for Spirit Hall at all? Yu Xiaogang paled and stammered. No, Bibi Dong didn't let him finish. Her jade finger cut him off. Now that Tang Hao is dead, that token is abolished. Her gaze was sharp and unforgiving. And you, how dare you use an abolished token to swagger in? Do you really think Spirit Hall is empty? Cold sweat broke on Yu Xiaogang's forehead. He tried to explain, but Bibi Dong waved her hand dismissively. Guards! Her red lips parted. Drag Yu Xiaogang out and beat him. No, you can't. Yu Xiaogang's pupils contracted. Disbelief filled his voice. Two hall knights stepped forward and seized his shoulders, dragging him out without mercy. Bibi Dong, you. His protest was cut off as the palace doors slammed shut. Soon muffled thuds and choked cries of pain came from outside. In short order, Yu Xiaogang was hauled back into the palace like a dead animal. Bibi Dong snorted. The sight of him now only increased her disgust. She had used many truth peanuts recently. They had worked on everyone. That meant the information about ties between Liu Erlong and Yu Xiaogang was likely accurate. Yu Xiaogang had probably been lying. Supreme Pontiff, why are you doing this? He gasped, feeling as if his waist would break. Cold sweat drenched him. He didn't understand Bibi Dong anymore. Do I need a reason to hit you? Bibi Dong said coldly. Tell me, Yu Xiaogang, what business did you have coming to our spirit hall? Yu Xiaogang's heart dropped. It seemed he wouldn't get the twin spirit cultivation method today. No, I was just passing by, he whispered, head bowed. Passing by? Bibi Dong's eyes sharpened. Passing by with a Supreme Pontiff token, are you still not going to tell the truth? She produced a truth peanut and held it up. You should know this well, shouldn't you? Yu Xiaogang's pupils shrank. His whole body trembled. How did you get this? Xiao Ze came. Xiao Ze was here. His eyes went bloodshot. He couldn't understand why Xiao Ze would come here. No wonder Xiao Ze had been absent recently, pursuing him. It made no sense. That has nothing to do with you. If you eat this peanut obediently and tell me what I want to hear, you can live. Otherwise, Bibi Dong smiled cruelly. Yu Xiaogang trembled. Don't, I really was just passing by. Oh, so you still don't want to tell the truth. Guards, force it down his throat. Hulina watched with curiosity. This truth peanut seemed to terrify Yu Xiaogang. Two hall knights took the peanut and approached Yu Xiaogang, who was pressed to the floor, his face streaked with blood and his clothes torn. He struggled desperately, eyes wild. No, you can't, he croaked. One of the hall knights sneered and grabbed his chin with a large hand. Chapter 254, Hanging Outside the Spirit Hall. The Supreme Pontiff ordered you to eat it, so you have no choice, another hall knight barked, shoving the peanut into Yu Xiaogang's mouth. Yu Xiaogang shook his head wildly, but a hard blow to the stomach from the knight made him swallow instinctively. Cough, cough, he hacked and retched. The hall knights released him and watched with cold faces. Yu Xiaogang clawed at his throat, desperate to spit the truth peanut back out, but it was useless. The truth peanut dissolved the moment it hit his tongue. The truth had already been forced out. Yu Xiaogang, is Tang San really Tang Hao's son? Bibi Dong asked. Seeing him clawing at his mouth, she knew the truth peanut had done its work. Yu Xiaogang's body went rigid when he heard her voice. A look of terror crossed his face. Tang San is Tang Hao's son. Tang San has the clear sky hammer, and back at Notting Academy, it was Tang Hao who gave me the Supreme Pontiff's order, he blurted. He sounded utterly defeated. The thought of the truth peanut again made him want to curse Xiao Ze aloud. Damn you, Xiao Ze! If it weren't for him, I could have kept using Liu Erlong and Bibi Dong. Little San and I could have reached the very top of this world. Xiao Ze! He wanted to roar silently, but the words remained trapped in his despair. Bibi Dong's expression was one of grim satisfaction. The truth peanut was invaluable, especially for interrogations. It left no secrets. She glanced around. All of you withdraw. Yes. The hall knights stepped back. Even Hulina left, casting a resentful look at Xiao Ze as she went. Xiao Ze only smiled inwardly. This was clearly bullying the weak and fearing the strong, not his doing. Why have you come to our spirit hall this time? Bibi Dong asked. For Little San's twin spirit's cultivation, Yu Xiaogang answered under the peanut's compulsion. Only you in this world know how to cultivate twin spirits. Bibi Dong had half expected it, but hearing it still stung. From now on, Yu Xiaogang would be her prisoner and her enemy. Xiao Ze watched Bibi Dong's expression shift and smiled faintly. Yu Xiaogang, if only he had been sincere with people, he might have lived off women. But he was arrogant and ambitious. Lacking strength in a world where might was everything was a fatal flaw. He didn't even possess innate first-level spirit power. A sect like the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, one of the upper 3 sects, could only raise him to level 29. Without his connections, he might never have reached level 10. In a world that trusted fists more than words, even brilliant theories counted for nothing without power to back them up. If you're strong, people will believe your words. If you're weak, no one will. Heh? As I thought, you Xiaogang, Bibi Dong sneered. You never had true sincerity for anyone. Tang San would be heartbroken if he knew what you said. Not necessarily, Xiao Ze replied. Bibi Dong looked at him suspiciously. What do you mean? Maybe Tang San and Yu Xiaogang are cut from the same cloth, Xiao Ze said. I was Tang San's classmate for 6 years. I know him. Besides, bad company corrupts good character. That may be true, but it doesn't matter. Bibi Dong's voice hardened. Why did you approach me back then? Yu Xiaogang's face showed a struggle, but the truth Peanut's power forced the words out. For my theories. After I left the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, I knew I had no cultivation talent. Those in the sect scorned me, saying I took resources and did nothing. I couldn't stand it, so I ran off, hoping to make my name known across the continent by other means, so I started with theory. And when I learned you were the Holy Maiden of Spirit Hall, I knew you were the only one who could help. The Spirit Hall library is closed to outsiders. I wanted to get in through you. Bibi Dong clenched her teeth in fury. How could she have believed him then? If she hadn't, she wouldn't have suffered the later tragedies. The root of it all was Yu Xiaogang and her own foolishness. You don't look too distressed, Xiao Ze said lightly. Bibi Dong snorted. I was prepared. Distressed? Not really. That's good, because I don't want to become the Supreme Pontiff too quickly, Xiao Ze laughed. What? Xiao Ze, you? Yu Xiaogang's eyes widened in alarm. When did Xiao Ze get involved with Bibi Dong? It has nothing to do with you, Bibi Dong said. Then she pressed on. Are your 10 core theories plagiarized from our Spirit Hall? Yes and no, Yu Xiaogang admitted. I compiled each theory from books in the Spirit Hall library, but some of them are unrelated to Spirit Hall. Those weren't written by your people. I see. Bibi Dong watched him for a long moment. Yu Xiaogang slumped to the floor, hollow despair in his eyes. His lips trembled, but no sound came out. He already sensed the endless torment waiting for him. Bibi Dong rose, sitting tall on the Supreme Pontiff's throne, fingertips tapping the armrest. A ruthless light flashed in her eyes. Someone. The hall doors opened, and 2 hall knights entered with Hulina, bowing respectfully. Nana, Hulina said. Bibi Dong's voice was icy. Go and announce it. Say Yu Xiaogang stole Spirit Hall secrets. Summon the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan to come personally to apologize and offer compensation. Hulina blinked, but bowed and replied, Yes, teacher. She didn't need to understand every detail. A teacher's orders were not to be questioned. Bibi Dong turned to the 2 hall knights, red lips parting, her tone chill as winter. As for you 2, hang him outside Spirit Hall, not too far away. Keep him there until the Soul Master competition teams arrive. She leaned forward, cruel light in her eyes, and added, each word measured. Remember, he must not die. Chapter 255, The Blue Lightning Tyrant Clan Takes the Blame. The 2 hall knights nodded coldly and strode forward, seizing the limp Yu Xiaogang and dragging him away like a dead animal. His fingertips scraped weakly against the cobbles. Before long, they hung him by heavy iron chains in front of a tavern not far from Spirit Hall, one of Spirit Hall's businesses. The scorching midday sun beat down on Spirit City's main street. Yu Xiaogang swayed gently in midair, bound at the wrists, dried blood darkening his tattered clothes. Those clothes flapped in the wind to reveal blue and purple bruises beneath. His once refined face was ashen, his eyes stared blankly into the distance. Below, 4 hall knights stood at attention with halberds, their expressions cold and forbidding. Citizens and passing spirit masters stopped and looked up in astonishment. Whispers spread like a rising tide. Who is that? Spirit Hall doesn't hang people here often. I don't know, but it looks serious. He doesn't even look like a spirit elder. Why would Spirit Hall bother with him? Maybe he did something that angered Spirit Hall. The Hall's always been good to ordinary spirit masters. Join Spirit Hall and you get so many resources. Why would someone harm them? Whatever he did, He's not a good man. As murmurs grew, a spirit hall deacon stepped forward without expression and drove a wooden placard into the ground beneath Yu Xiaogang. The sign declared in bold letters, Yu Xiaogang, son of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan's sect master, stole Spirit Hall's secrets. His crime is unforgivable. He has made an example. Instantly, the crowd's confusion turned to scorn. Faces tightened, heads shook, some sneered, some spat. My heavens, he actually stole from Spirit Hall? Spirit Hall is the sacred land. You don't steal from them. He's the son of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan's sect master. Isn't that Yu Yuanzhen's son? Oh my god, Yu Yuanzhen failed to educate his son. Maybe Yu Yuanzhen sent him. Spirit Hall has so many secrets. Don't say that. Well, it could be. The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan isn't always reliable. Pa, I never thought Yu Yuanzhen would stoop to that. Why would they steal something they could research themselves? Stealing is faster, I guess. I can't believe they're still one of the upper three sects. How shameful. Beneath the sun, Yu Xiaogang closed his eyes. He knew he had burned every bridge. His clan and his father would never forgive him. On a high platform at Spirit Hall, Bibi Dong watched him hang in the distance with a complex mix of emotions. She had once loved him, her only real love, and now that feeling lay extinguished. Not only had she lost her body, she had lost her love. What's wrong? Heartache? Xiao Ze teased. Bibi Dong rolled her eyes. Don't say that. It's rare, Xiao Ze continued, half mocking. I heard you, the dignified holy maiden of Spirit Hall, once wanted to elope with Yu Xiaogang. Amazing you could even think of that. Bibi Dong's face darkened. That was the past. Don't bring it up. I'm the Supreme Pontiff of Spirit Hall now. Got it, Supreme Pontiff. Xiao Ze sounded casual. Bibi Dong felt her temper rising. In all these years, no one had provoked her like Xiao Ze did. Yet when she thought of him, something softened. The corner of her mouth lifted slightly. Seeing her smile, Xiao Ze straightened, unnerved. Was she about to turn cold and ruthless? Her smile seemed almost gentle, unsettlingly so. Xiao Ze, she began. Here. Xiao Ze's voice cut in. Bibi Dong looked at him with mild curiosity. He had the same uneasy feeling. Her gaze felt softer than usual. He realized he might have misread her entirely. Bibi Dong herself didn't fully understand her own feelings. I've already handled Yu Xiaogang and informed the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, she said calmly. This makes enemies of both them and him. How about you join Spirit Hall, become the next Supreme Pontiff? Xiao Ze studied her earnest expression and nodded slightly. If you can solve your own problems, I will join. That's good. I hope you can lead Spirit Hall to greater heights. Bibi Dong's voice was steady. Since you're joining, I'll tell you something that might help, Xiao Ze said. Tang San's father, Tang Hao, was resurrected by the Asura god. Tang San is someone the Asura god values. What? Bibi Dong's shock was audible. Even the Rakshasa god in her reacted. Is that true? Absolutely. But Tang Hao isn't really human anymore. He's a puppet for fighting, possibly infused with the Asura god's divine force. If you're going to deal with him, the high priest will have to act. He can use the angel god's divine force, otherwise it will be very difficult. I understand. There's more. That little rabbit beside Tang San is a 100,000-year spirit beast, a descendant of the rabbit you killed back then. Bibi Dong's eyes widened in surprise. A transformed spirit beast. Exactly. You can take Xiao Wu's spirit ring, but I want the spirit bone. Xiao Ze's tone was pragmatic. My current body isn't yet 40,000 years old. Unless Xiao Wu sacrifices herself, I can't absorb it. By the time I could, I likely won't care. It's better for her to serve you, make you stronger, and I'll get the spirit bone. Xiao Wu's spirit bone is powerful. Bibi Dong absorbed what he'd said, her gaze turning calculating. The pieces were falling into place, and a new, colder resolve settled over her face as she looked back up at Yu Xiaogang, hanging in disgrace beneath the noon sun. Chapter 256, Qian Daoliu Invites You. Bibi Dong thought for a moment, then nodded. All right, the spirit bone is yours. My spirit bones are full anyway. I'll take the spirit ring. You must be prepared. If the Asura god makes a move, we won't be able to keep Tang San. We'll go straight for Xiao Wu, Xiao Ze said. Understood. I'll gather all the titled Douluo, Bibi Dong replied. Oh, and after we capture Xiao Wu, don't kill her outright. She'll be very useful to you, Xiao Ze added, a smile tugging at his lips. What use? Bibi Dong asked, curious. She felt Xiao Ze knew far more than she did, no surprise for someone favored by a god king. Xiao Wu has two sworn brothers, the Titan giant ape and the sky azure bull python from the Star Do Great Forest. What? Bibi Dong's eyes widened, and she let out a small gasp. The Titan giant ape and the sky azure bull python, the two 100,000-year spirit beasts? That's right. I don't know why two mighty 100,000-year beasts would recognize a lesser spirit beast like Xiao Wu as their sister, but their bond with her is extremely strong. If we take Xiao Wu, we might get three 100,000-year spirit rings and spirit bones at once. Xiao Ze wasn't overly picky about the rings. 100,000-year rings could be upgraded later, but he desperately needed spirit bones. They were rare. So far, he only had one skull bone. The other 5 parts were empty. Most of his bones were external. You really know a lot, Bibi Dong said, her expression unreadable. She had never met anyone quite like him. In her mind, Qian Shunji and Qian Daoliu were impressive, mainly because they were descendants of the angel god. The seraphim spirit was a god-level spirit, and anyone born with it would almost certainly become a titled Douluo unless crippled. But Xiao Ze, his talent, looks, and future potential were top tier. If she were 20 years younger, she might have been taken with him. She shook herself. Just average, she said lightly. I'll take care of the specifics. You're coming with me? Bibi Dong asked. Ha, are you trying to send me to my death? Those two 100,000-year spirit beasts have extraordinary bloodlines, Xiao said, startled. Don't worry. Many titled Douluo will be going, and with Xiao Wu as our leverage, we can constantly threaten them. All right, I'll observe from a distance. Offering Hall. I heard a child came to Spirit Hall. Because of this child, Bibi Dong hung Yu Xiaogang outside Spirit Hall? Qian Daoliu asked. Big brother, it's true. His name is Xiao Ze. He seems to be a genius. They say his second spirit ring was a 1,000-year one, and he's at least a spirit ancestor now, Thousand Rock Douluo reported. That would count as a genius, a 1,000-year second spirit ring. Xiao Shui herself doesn't have that, Qian Daoliu nodded. Big brother, he seems to have innate spirit power level 2. Bibi Dong investigated him, Thousand Rock Douluo added. The priests exchanged glances. Are you sure you didn't misread? Innate spirit power level 2 and a spirit ancestor at 14? Do you take us for fools? Xiangxi Douluo said, folding his arms. It's true. I wouldn't lie, Thousand Rock said, exasperated. No one believed him. Qian Daoliu frowned. Go call him in. He's joined Spirit Hall now. Let's see this future pillar of Spirit Hall. What? You want me to go to the offering hall? Xiao Ze blinked. Qian Daoliu asked for you. If you don't want to go, you don't have to, Bibi Dong said. I'll go. I don't know what you people at Spirit Hall were thinking, letting the heir of the Seraphim go to the Heaven Do Empire to be the crown prince, Xiao Ze muttered. You knew? Bibi Dong was surprised. Of course he knew. Being the heir of a god king carried its own information networks. Then go. They won't harm you, she said. Okay. Bibi Dong escorted Xiao Ze to the offering hall entrance. I won't go in. They don't like me either. Come back early, she reminded him. I know. The large doors of the offering hall opened. Xiao Ze stepped inside and saw a middle-aged man in a simple gray robe standing there. Afternoon sunlight streamed through stained glass, throwing a sacred halo around him. He looked to be in his 30s or 40s, handsome, with a faint, knowing smile as if he'd seen through the world. An innate divine aura clung to him. With long black hair and a slender figure, he exuded an otherworldly dignity. It was the high priest, Qian Daoliu. Beside him stood 6 other priests, each with a distinctive presence. Greetings, high priest and all priests, Xiao Ze said respectfully. Xiao Ze, the genius who voluntarily joined Spirit Hall. May I ask your motive? Qian Daoliu asked. His voice was calm but carried an invisible pressure that made lying impossible. I came because Spirit Hall can help me, Xiao Ze replied. Help you? In what way? Spirit Hall has branch halls everywhere. That network is important to me. Branch halls? Qian Daoliu looked puzzled. Brat, speak plainly. Riddles are the most annoying. Xiangxi Douluo barked, his blunt voice making Xiao Ze wince. How could someone so impatient remain a priest? Could he endure the offering hall? Xiao Ze didn't answer. A different kind of silence settled over the hall, so complete that even breathing seemed loud. Just as Xiangxi was about to scold him, A soft green light began to flow from Xiao Ze's body. It was gentle, not dazzling, but it washed over the priests with vibrant vitality. The 7 priests stared. The old injuries that had scarred their bodies seemed to ease. Douluo frowned. There was something eerily familiar about the power emanating from Xiao Ze. Somewhere in the hall, the angel god statue suddenly lit up with a sacred glow. Xiao Ze's eyes had turned a pure emerald green. Within his pupils, patterns like ears of wheat flowed and shifted. A fresh, plant-scented breeze seemed to fill the room, and all 7 priests inhaled at once. The improvement in their chronic wounds was obvious, more than any present-day healing spirit master could have managed. They stared at Xiao Ze, disbelief written on their faces. Each of them was a super Douluo or higher. Their old injuries were the kinds no ordinary healer could repair. What on earth was his situation? This is. Gold Crocodile Douluo unconsciously leaned forward, a childlike longing in the eyes of the usually majestic second priest. The other priests felt the same pull. They all wanted to approach Xiao Ze. The intimacy he radiated wasn't romantic or familiar, just a natural, magnetic urge to be near him. Douluo's reaction was the most unguarded. The level 99 limit Douluo staggered forward 3 steps. A god, the aura of a divinity. The words hit like thunder. Titled Douluo Guangling clapped a hand over his mouth. Thousand Rock Douluo and demon-subduing Douluo exchanged stunned looks. If anyone else had said it, they might have dismissed it, but this was Douluo. He'd stood beside the angel god and understood divine energy better than most. Xiao Ze smiled faintly as the green light around him intensified. A soft rustling filled the hall. From the cracks in the marble beneath his feet, tender green shoots pushed up and spread, turning into a carpet of blossoms in the space of a heartbeat. God, you're a descendant of a divinity, Douluo said, voice trembling with excitement. This was the first time he had seen another divinity manifest. Xiao Ze chuckled at his reaction. Yes, I'm a descendant of a divinity. The 7 priests did their best to contain their astonishment. It explained what had puzzled them, how a spirit master with only innate level 2 spirit power had advanced so quickly. Now it made sense. He was kin to a god. Douluo returned to his place, but fascination and curiosity were stamped on his face. Xiao Ze, whose divinity are you descended from? The god of agriculture. The god of agriculture? Douluo hadn't known many divinities besides the angel god. He's stronger than the angel god. Maybe you should ask her, though she might not have time right now. Xiao Ze just smiled. Douluo hesitated before continuing, cautious about what he didn't understand. What can Spirit Hall do to help you? Help me become a god. I don't intend to inherit the god of agriculture's title. I want to establish my own divine seat through deeds and the faith of the people. Spirit Hall's aid promoting the crops I've developed will be necessary. Douluo froze. That's all? That's all. Is that enough to become a god? Gold Crocodile Douluo asked, puzzled. Xiao Ze's smile grew a little amused. Godhood isn't some unfathomable power. You're overthinking it. The angel god and the sea god both created their own seats through great deeds and the faith they earned. The angel god by protecting the continent from evil spirit masters. The sea god by conquering the seas and gaining the faith of sea spirit beasts. But your crops? Titled Douluo Guangling frowned. You've been in high positions for a long time. Do you realize how many people starve? If your crops can keep everyone fed, your merit and the faith you'd gain would be immense. Douluo and the others looked at each other. It sounded odd at first, but the logic was undeniable. Ending famine across the continent would indeed be a tremendous deed. Bibi Dong will help you with this, Douluo added. That's enough for me. I only ask that if Spirit Hall ever finds itself in trouble, you will lend us a hand. Of course, Xiao Ze nodded. Since Spirit Hall was willing to assist him, he would not abandon it. Thank you. After Xiao Ze left, the priest's shock didn't fade. Brother, I never expected to meet a descendant of a divinity. Neither did I. Luckily, our relationship with Xiao Ze is good. Bibi Dong should try to win him properly. His single promise will matter more than anything, Douluo said. He fell quiet, troubled. But Bibi Dong, he shook his head. After what Bibi Dong did to Yu Xiaogang, she changed. She wants Spirit Hall to grow stronger now. Write this down and tell Qian Renshui she should strengthen her ties with Xiao Ze, Perhaps one day they'll go to the God realm together, Douluo suggested. Understood. In a special sacred space, the angel god faced the god of agriculture. An outsider divinity, rare to encounter, she said. You are lofty, but your strength is mediocre, the god of agriculture replied with a gentle smile. The angel god's mouth twitched. The remark was blunt. Then she offered, I want to make a deal with you. A deal? I can feel you are stronger than I am, an outsider god king. I want your descendant to protect my descendant's path to godhood. And what do I, or Xiao Ze, gain? The god of agriculture asked. You will have my promise. I am currently bound under the life goddess and cannot openly take sides, but my vow is eternal. Even if I must oppose a god king, I will help. The god of agriculture considered it and accepted. It might even help secure a match for Xiao Ze someday, an idea that made him smile at the thought of his descendant's future. Then thank you. I won't tell other divinities about this. Afterwards, the god of agriculture informed Xiao Ze. Xiao Ze tapped his tongue, so the angel god wasn't dead after all. In the original account, she had even allowed Tang San to cripple her descendant. Now it seemed her strength was limited, likely hemmed in by rivals like the sea god and the Asura god, and unable to rescue Qian Renshui. Do you agree? The god of agriculture asked. Of course. Helping Qian Renshui become a god is a side matter for us, Xiao Ze replied. I'll confide in the life goddess and seek a different solution, the god of agriculture said. There will be time. Once I reach the god realm, I'll look for a way to resurrect you, Xiao Ze promised. No rush. With my golden body of merit, it will take a long time to fade, the god of agriculture said calmly. You are a being of great merit. Xiao Ze's tone was sincere. If you could gain the faith of humans, the sea spirit beasts, and the land spirit beasts, combined with your merit, you would be nearly invincible. Then wouldn't I be the only self-made god king in the Douluo god realm? The god of agriculture joked. Perhaps. The divinities in your Douluo god realm are formidable. Even at my peak, I'd likely be among the weaker ones there. The god of agriculture concluded, having sized up powers like the Rakshasa god and the angel god and weighed his place among them. Chapter 258, Angry Yuan Zhen. Xiao Ze nodded. That much was beyond doubt. After all, the 5 great god kings had all been split off from the creator god. Their power wouldn't compare to someone who had risen to divinity on their own. Still, the creator god wasn't truly invincible. All right, rest while you can. We'll be busy soon, the god of agriculture said. Xiao Ze managed a wry smile. He did have a lot to do, sowing seeds, preparing spirit tools and spirit souls, and countless other arrangements. He might even travel to the northern ice field and the Star Doe Great Forest to try and cooperate with the Silver Dragon King and her kin. Once he secured the faith of the spirit beasts there, he could go to Sea God Island for the sea spirit beasts. Add the faith of humans, threefold faith and merit, and his position would be unassailable. Heaven Doe City. The promotion rounds, 14 matches in total, officially concluded today. Tianshui Academy finished first, and Shui Binger had personally taken on 4 members of Thunder Academy. Her control of ice made it impossible for them to mount an effective offense. Shui Binger was already formidable. Now that her spirit had evolved and her spirit power exerted a suppressive effect, her victory was a complete crushing win. The other academies, Blazing, Shenfeng, Thunder, Plant, and the rest, also performed admirably. When the matches ended, Emperor Shuiye gave one more rousing speech, though few people were listening. The finals were only days away. Emperor Shuiye could not very well go to Spirit City himself. If he did, he'd be tempted to personally cheer on Heaven Doe Royal Academy. So he sent Crown Prince Shui Qinghe as the Heaven Doe Empire's envoy to help oversee the competition. 15 teams from the Heaven Doe Empire would be personally escorted by the Crown Prince to the finals in Spirit City. But Shui Qinghe had been preoccupied. A few days ago, she had received a letter from her grandfather and had felt numb reading it. Xiao Ze had joined Spirit Hall, and worse, he was the successor to a divinity even more powerful than the angel god. She had not noticed before, but it made a certain kind of sense. Xiao Ze's innate spirit power was only rank 2. Without the backing of a divinity, reaching spirit ancestor in one lifetime would already be remarkable. Her grandfather had made one point bluntly: she should cultivate a good relationship with Xiao Ze. ideally, make a marriage alliance. Shui Qinghe had never seriously considered marriage. Chosen by the angel god and destined to become a divinity herself, when she ascended to the god realm, her partner would remain in the lower world, so she'd thought it better to avoid marriage altogether. Now suddenly, she had a choice. Sigh, I'll have to spend some time with him then. If he's suitable, maybe it could work, she murmured, unconcerned by the idea of the other women around Xiao Ze. After all, they could never become divinities. He would accompany them in life. When they died, he could ascend with her. Everyone rested for 3 days. On the 4th day, the 15 teams set out for Spirit City under escort. 500 Royal Knight Corps soldiers and over 1,000 people in total. The journey would take about 20 days. Ah, I'll see Xiao Ze soon. It's been so long, I miss him, Ning Rongrong said, leaning against Du Guyan. Maybe Xiao Ze doesn't even miss you, Du Guyan replied with a laugh. He still has Liu Erlong, and the Supreme Pontiff of Spirit Hall is a beauty as well. Ning Rongrong puffed her cheeks. How could that be? Even if the Supreme Pontiff tried to join, she'd have to get past me. You're brave, Shu Yuer chuckled. Of course, anyone who wants to join our Xiao family must follow our rules, Ning Rongrong declared, waving a hand. Do we even have rules? Huo Wu asked. Haha, of course not. I'm just teasing. But I did see Bibi Dong when I was little. She's a woman of extraordinary grace. It's not impossible Xiao Ze could fall for her. Besides, Bibi Dong used to like Yu Xiaogang. Xiao Ze wouldn't miss the chance to compete with Yu Xiaogang. Ning Rongrong's voice danced with mischief. Our guesses may be wrong. We'll know when we get there, Ye Lingling said. They fell quiet for the rest of the trip. Xiao Ze had told Bibi Dong not to send titled Douluo to cause trouble. It would accomplish nothing and only invite criticism. Back at the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, the mood was stifling. People kept their heads down, reluctant to speak. Boom! Yuan Zhen's rage exploded. His hair stood on end as lightning crackled wildly around him. He slammed his palm down on the rosewood table and shattered it to splinters. The lights in the hall flickered in the storm of his spirit power. Spirit Hall, Bibi Dong has gone too far, he roared. Yuan Zhen stared at the message Spirit Hall had sent, fury burning in his eyes. The paper crumbled to dust in his palm. His son, Yu Xiaogang, had been hung at the entrance of Spirit Hall for days. He must be suffering terrible torment. Xiaogang, Yuan Zhen's chest heaved. Rage and sorrow warred in his expression. Even if Yu Xiaogang lacked talent, he was still his son, and this public humiliation was a slap to the face of the entire clan. The first elder, standing nearby, sneered. Sectmaster, who's to blame? Isn't this Xiaogang's own doing? He stroked his beard, eyes full of contempt. If he hadn't tried to steal Spirit Hall's secrets, he wouldn't have been caught. Now he's embarrassed himself and dragged the sect's reputation through the mud. Exactly, the second elder snapped. He was already useless. Now he's brought disaster on us. If Spirit Hall uses this to make trouble, won't the blame fall on us? The third elder added coldly. Hearing their harsh words only thickened Yuan Zhen's veins with anger. He knew these elders had long looked down on Yu Xiaogang, but with his son in mortal danger, he expected them to stand with him, not kick him while he was down. Enough, I am the sect master, he bellowed. Bang! He punched a cabinet, reducing it to splinters. The hall fell silent at the display. In this world, force often settled disputes. Yu Yuanjin was the clan's only titled Douluo and a super Douluo at that. Without him, Yu Xiaogang would have been struck from the family tree long ago. Yu Yuanjin drew a deep breath, controlling himself, and said in a cold voice, No matter what, Xiaogang is still a member of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. Spirit Hall humiliating him like this is a provocation against us. I will personally go to Spirit Hall and demand his release. Chapter 259, Qinzhe. The Heavendu Empire delegation had an uneventful journey. They soon arrived at Spirit City. Qian Renshui led 15 teams into the city. Compared to Heavendu City, Spirit City was indeed much smaller, but it was still magnificently imposing. A red-robed bishop guided everyone to a hotel. Tang San intended to explore the city, and Xiao Wu followed. The two of them walked towards Spirit Hall, the core of Spirit City, and naturally wanted to see it up close. Xiao Wu tugged on Tang San's sleeve and whispered, Little San, look over there. She pointed toward the roof of a nearby restaurant. Tang San, caught up in the city's grandeur, turned in confusion, then suddenly froze as if struck. Teacher, he blurted. Up on the roof, Yu Xiaogang hung suspended in midair. His face was pale, his clothes in tatters, his body covered in wounds. He was clearly close to collapse. His head drooped. Between messy hair, cracked lips, and bruised eye sockets could be seen. Below him, a wooden sign bore large characters branding him a thief, words that hit Tang San like a physical blow. This can't be. Tang San staggered back a step, nails digging into his palms. Teacher went to get the twin spirit cultivation method for me. Xiao Wu pursed her lips and pointed at the sign. Tang San's face went ashen. Had the teacher's claim of connections to the Supreme Pontiff been a lie? Had he really been there to steal? Every word on that sign hammered at Tang San's heart. He remembered how confident teacher had looked when he left. He had truly believed him. Now it seemed he had been deceived. What Tang San had once dismissed as Yu Xiaogang's uselessness suddenly felt like a deeper flaw in his character. How could Tang San have a teacher like that? Xiao Wu snorted softly, a trace of mockery in her eyes. She had never liked Yu Xiaogang's perpetual dourness. A useless man who claimed he could train them. Did he even have the ability? Passing spirit masters pointed and whispered. Someone even spat on the ground. Tang San opened his mouth but couldn't make a sound. "Let's go, little San," Xiao Wu urged, tugging his sleeve. He forced himself to look once more at the swaying figure, then mechanically turned and walked away. Yu Xiaogang seemed to sense them. He slowly lifted his head. "Was that little San?" he murmured, then fainted. "Someone, he fainted. Wake him," the spirit hall guards ordered. Bibi Dong ensured he wouldn't be killed, but the torment continued in a calculated cruelty. 1 meal every 3 days, water every 2. When he fainted, they woke him. When he neared death, they would have a healing spirit master revive him. All the mercies were doled out only to prolong the suffering. The prisoners at Spirit Hall's detention area watched with morbid excitement. It was their first time witnessing this method of torture, and twisted smiles bent their faces. Not far away, in a restaurant, Yuan Zhen gripped a wooden railing until his knuckles ached. He stood by a window, eyes fixed on Yu Xiaogang dangling above. The young man on the roof no longer resembled the proud young master of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan. His clothes were torn, wounds mottled his skin, and his face was chalk white, as if he could breathe his last at any moment. "Xiaogang." Yuan Zhen's chest heaved, fury barely contained threatened to explode. He wanted to rush out and save his son, but cold reason doused him. This was Spirit City, Spirit Hall's territory. How many titled Douluo guarded Spirit Hall? Several elders were visible. Above them loomed the unfathomable Supreme Pontiff Bibi Dong. If he acted rashly, not only would he fail to rescue Yu Xiaogang, he might bring disaster down on the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan. He drew a deep breath and forced the murderous intent down. He could not act now, but he didn't know how else to save his son. "Damn it," he swore, slamming a fist into the window frame and sending splinters flying. After a long moment, Yuan Zhen closed his eyes and exhaled a slow, troubled breath. Restraint gave way to resolve. No matter the cost, he could not allow his son to continue to be humiliated. The scandal had spread across the continent during the Soul Master competition. Xiaogang's degradation was already a stain on their name. He must rescue his son and could not let this continue. Spirit Hall. This debt, I, Yuan Zhen, will remember it. That night, Tang San returned to the hotel, his mind muddled. "Little San seems off. What's wrong with him?" Dai Mubai asked. Xiao Wu shook her head and stayed silent. Some humiliations were better left unspoken. Seeing she would say nothing, Dai Mubai dropped the subject. Meanwhile, Qian Renshui had slipped off her disguise and returned to Spirit Hall in her true form. Shortly after she arrived, she encountered Xiao Ze. Xiao Ze was taken aback by Qian Renshui's appearance. She stood under the moonlight in an opulent golden palace gown that made her look like a goddess descended to earth. The high golden collar framed her slender neck, lending her an air of noble inviolability. Her golden hair flowed down like a waterfall. She needed no adornment. Nobility seemed to drip from her very presence. She tilted her head slightly, the profile of her straight nose perfect against the night, and a faint golden light shimmered in her slightly narrow, phoenix-like eyes. Her full red lips were lightly pursed, her skin clear as crystal. The gown hugged her figure exquisitely. When her gaze fell on Xiao Ze, she spoke. Xiao Ze! Oh, our crown prince? Xiao Ze said with a smile as he approached. Drawn closer, he even caught her faint fragrance. When did you learn my true identity? She asked. You don't need to know that. Besides, I haven't told Shui Ye about your true identity, he replied. Now that you're part of Spirit Hall, don't interfere with my plan, she said. Xiao Ze snorted. You're still clinging to that crown prince and emperor scheme? Honestly, with your talent, if you actually spent time cultivating, you could sweep through the Heaven Do Empire. Wouldn't that be better than your plan? Qian Renshui turned her head slightly. A shadow of sadness crossed her features. You don't understand, she said softly. Xiao Ze reached out almost reflexively and ruffled her hair. They both froze at the same time. Qian Renshui suddenly looked up, her face flushing visibly. Her phoenix eyes widened, filled with disbelief. Chapter 260. Yuanjun was so angry, he died. Qian Renshui reacted a heartbeat later, pushing Xiao Ze away in embarrassment. Pervert, she spat the word and practically fled in a panic. Xiao Ze stood frozen for a moment, then slowly looked down at his right hand. The warmth of golden hair still seemed to linger on his fingers. He slapped his hand lightly. That's for being so meddlesome. Despite his words, the corners of his mouth curved upward. Qian Renshui had been unexpectedly cute. She was older and had never really experienced love, neither maternal nor anything else. Back in the sleeping quarters, Xiao Ze found Ning Rongrong and the others already gathered. You're all here, he said with a smile. What do you mean? Someone knew we were coming today and didn't even meet us. We had to come early, Ning Rongrong grumbled. Xiao Ze stepped forward, pulled her into his arms, and kissed her forehead. My fault. I've been a little busy lately. Her face flushed. You're annoying. She wriggled out of his embrace. What have you been busy with? Yu Xiaogang's situation, Xiao Ze replied. We saw Yu Xiaogang publicly humiliated at the restaurant. Was that Bibi Dong's doing? Ning Rongrong asked, curious. Exactly. It was her. She knew Yu Xiaogang never loved her, so she retaliated. And that's only the beginning. Yu Xiaogang won't have a peaceful life from now on. He might even end up dead at Spirit Hall, Xiao Ze said. Good. Yu Xiaogang isn't a good person anyway, Ning Rongrong said. I think I saw Sect Master Yu Wanzhen of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan on the way. He's here, Ye Lingling added. That fast? Xiao Ze was a little surprised. It seems Yu Wanzhen still cares about his son, but he's under a lot of pressure. The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan values its reputation above all. Yu Xiaogang's existence is a disgrace to them, the son of a super Douluo who's been stuck below 30 his whole life. Now he's been arrested by Spirit Hall, accused of stealing their secrets. That'll make the clan lose face across the continent. He went on. Besides, about the theft, many will suspect the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. Who would believe a Spirit Master who hasn't reached level 30 could steal Spirit Hall's secrets? Doesn't that mean the clan won't be able to clear their name? Huo Wu asked. That's exactly it. Yu Xiaogang is not only a member of the clan, but Yu Wanzhen's son. He hasn't been expelled. This incident shows we must think carefully before we act. Otherwise, we might harm ourselves and our families, Ning Rongrong said seriously. Good to know you've changed. You used to be so spoiled, Xiao Ze teased, pinching her cheek. I've changed, all right? Ning Rongrong protested, offended. But she'd been a pampered lady. A little temper was expected. I know. How are we going to sleep tonight? Shui Yuer looked around. The room had only one bed. Though large, it could fit at most 3 or 4 people. We'll sleep on the floor. You're all slim. Sleeping sideways will be fine. I'll take the floor, Xiao Ze said. All right. Late that night, moonlight filtered through the gauze curtains onto the floor. Xiao Ze lay on the mattress, eyes closed, breathing slow and steady. He felt a light rustling. The mattress creaked faintly, and he heard bare feet padding softly on the floor. Before he opened his eyes, he caught a familiar, delicate scent. Ning Rongrong. A warm, soft body slipped into his quilt. She moved so lightly it was hardly audible. When her slightly cool fingertips brushed his chest, she blushed. Rongrong? Xiao Ze murmured, still half asleep. Shh. She buried her face against his chest, voice muffled. The floor is cold. I came to sleep with you. Holding you will make me warm. She curled up against him, forehead resting near his chin, slender arms wrapped around his waist. Xiao Ze could feel her heart beating fast. Perhaps the sneaking around made everything more exciting. He tightened his arms and she nuzzled into him, her hair brushing his neck and making him feel ticklish. The next day, Xiao Ze arrived at the Supreme Pontiff Palace. Hiding here? He peered at the wall behind the Supreme Pontiff's seat and found it could be opened. It was thin and not soundproof, clearly designed for eavesdropping. Better not let Yuanzhen find you, Bibi Dong said. Xiao Ze slipped inside. The space wasn't huge, but it wasn't a true secret chamber either. After all, a real secret room would be soundproof. Otherwise, he might have suspected Bibi Dong wanted to be the next secret room Douluo. Soon Yu Yuanzhen was brought in. Bibi Dong sat above, paying him no heed, attending to her affairs. Yu Yuanzhen's face was ashen. Was she really not going to give him any face at all? He endured for a quarter of an hour, but finally couldn't hold back. Supreme Pontiff. Bibi Dong glanced up, calm as ever. My son Yu Xiaogong stole Spirit Hall secrets. I will take responsibility for this matter, Yuanzhen said, not even asking whether the accusation was true. Truth no longer mattered. If Bibi Dong wanted to make it true, she would. There was no point in arguing. Oh, you'll take responsibility. How do you intend to do that? Bibi Dong asked. Yuanzhen drew a deep breath. The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan will compensate Spirit Hall for any losses. We in Spirit Hall are not lacking, Bibi Dong replied lightly. Those words sent a jolt of panic through him. Not lacking? That implied she had no interest in releasing Yu Xiaogong. Could it be connected to whatever had happened between her and Yu Xiaogong in the past? He'd heard rumors, but hadn't seen the events himself. Supreme Pontiff, no matter what, Yu Xiaogong is my son. Even if he's a disappointment, I can't just watch him be tortured, Yuanzhen said, anger coloring his voice. And what of it? Bibi Dong was completely unfazed by his anger. Yuanzhen was furious at her indifference, but utterly helpless. He couldn't act recklessly here. If he did, even 10 men like him wouldn't be able to stop the consequences.